Right now, getting the usual buildup going northbound 65 on the downtown loop up to 24, and then east and westbound 24, both brake tapping right now between the 65 interchange and then the interchange with 40 over there toward the eastern split. Northbound 65, brake tapping going on up to the south loop downtown. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello, friends. Welcome in, one and all. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show underway for another day on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 7 minutes after the hour. Pleased that you've decided to join us. Thank you for being around. Thank you to young Jackson for controlling the experience, making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible, as bad as it may sound to me right now. Thank you to Ken Weaver. He delivers headlines twice an hour or when it breaks, and we appreciate him. Hello, Brother Jackson. Hello, Brother Weaver.
What's going on, bud? What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm just fine. I constantly sound much lower than everything else in my headphones, and it's distracting.
That is weird because you're pretty even
distracting.
across the board.
Well,
on my
that's fine. As long as it sounds good to you, more importantly, as it sounds good to the folks.
Yes, sir.
The folks are what matter.
Everybody between Bowling Green and Huntsville and Memphis and Knoxville.
There it is. You heard the man. Y'all tune it in and lock it in, and we'll be here for 4 hours and beyond. Thank you for being with us.
Beacon. Powerful beacon.
Oh, man, 100,000 watts of blowtorch power on that 99.7 signal. And then if you're ever out of signal, if it ever gets a little on you, you just go over to your app. You can download our app and take us where you go. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We're on Spotify, TuneIn, iHeart. You can find us on 997WTN.com. And then, of course, for you masochists in the listening audience, if you want to see how this thing's done, there's Talk TV. Hello. Hi. Growing out my beard, y'all. How you like it?
I like it, Brother Murphy. I think it's looking real good.
Thank you, Ken. I put some beard balm in. Do you use beard balm, Ken?
I've got some, but I stopped using it.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't know. I just I don't really I didn't like the way it didn't allow my beard to blow in the wind.
Really?
I like my beard to flow.
I dig that. I get it.
And the balm didn't allow that. It just kind of made it look too skinny too. And I don't want a skinny beard.
You want a nice, robust beard.
I want a robust, fluffy beard.
You want something, nice and full.
Yes, sir.
Well, I got something that resembles rats gnawing on my face right now, and I would like for it to fill out too. I've thought about, what do you think, Jackson? I've thought about coloring this thing.
No,
what do you think? No, Ken's a big no on that.
Dye it a funny color.
What, is black funny?
No.
Okay.
No, dude, you got to keep it the way it is, man.
Well, I'm.
You got a little salt in that pepper.
Well, I got a little pepper in the salt is what I've got. It used to be a little salt in the pepper, and now it has reversed on me.
Well, that's kind of like me. Mine is mostly salt. Might even be powdered sugar.
You look great. I mean, Ken Weaver, you're looking fabulous. You sound fabulous. Everybody wishes they were Weaver.
No.
Everybody wishes they were you.
Well,
I've talked to them.
Not if they're reaching for things.
Well, you don't want to be mad if you're reaching for things lately either.
Got a little one-arm action going on. Man, I'm so excited. 1 week from today, I should be out of the bigger version of this stupid thing. I still have a sling to graduate to, but it'll be just kind of a normal sling and not this big, bulky nonsense thing that I'm supposed to. Y'all see this on Super Talk TV? I'm supposed to squeeze this a lot.
Yeah?
I don't know why. That's what they tell me.
It strengthens it.
Oh, I guess.
Will there be a graduation ceremony?
Well, I certainly hope that you'll attend, Jackson. I think there will be at the doctor's offices of AOS, Advanced Orthopedics and Spine.
Yes, sir.
Over there in MJ, Mount Juliet, where Abigail the Abuser holds court every day, cracking, whipping people into shape. Boy. We got up to 162 degrees earlier. Well, yesterday it was. I guess.
All right.
162. Very excited.
How'd that feel?
Excruciatingly painful. And that is all I'll have to say about that. Although I'm getting better at going up the wall, I'll tell you that. Going up the wall is something that I thought, I understand we're in the middle of the stream, so we got to ride the horse that brung us here. But the going up the wall it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
But you got to go up. And it's, anyway, enough about my shoulder. Nobody wants to hear about the poor, pitiful host of this show. You want to hear about the news, right? Look, maybe I'm hurting my shoulder cheerleading this tunnel deal. And I don't know, folks. The naysayers are starting to sound like the horse and buggy folk when Henry Ford started pulling out the old Model T. I mean, well, that's never going to work. And there's so many different criticisms of what's happening, and all of it is predicated. I mean, first and foremost, people don't seem to understand. I mean, I don't mean to nag. I don't mean to wag my finger or preach to the choir. My grandpa always said, don't preach to the choir because next Sunday you won't have a choir. Choir goes somewhere, you start condemning the choir to hell, they'll go some other church. So you have to watch that. But I'm not trying to preach to the choir. I feel like this. The free market is the better way. In every way, the free market should do what the free market can do. The government should get involved only when absolutely necessary. And we've found a way to alleviate what we believe to be legitimate concerns in the city of Nashville without the government being involved. This is not a government project. The government is giving its okay to allow a private company to engage in a private business venture. It is similar to someone opening a restaurant. And the government says, yeah, you can have a restaurant there. And that is the entire government aspect of this operation except for collection of taxes. And it's my understanding there will be no tax abatement. So all of these liberals that are so dang mad about the tunnel, they're mad about this tunnel because it doesn't involve them. And it doesn't have to do with taking your money and funneling it through their friendly pockets and eventually getting 60 cents on the dollar back out in return. If we could figure out a way to privatize all of the roadways in the United States of America, I believe that would be a superior solution to what we do right now. Because I promise you, private companies are going to be more concerned with saving money on the front end. But there are very little ways that you can make that truly a competitive natured force. With this, you have an innovator that has figured out a way to do these tunneling projects with little to zero impact to the overall community and what's on top of the ground. Now, all of this is predicated on what we've seen them do in Las Vegas, what we've seen them do in other communities, and what they say they'll have the ability to do here in the city of Nashville. And I don't vouch for the promises made, but I would suggest to you that, am I excited about it? I'm pretty excited about it. I don't understand why you wouldn't be excited about it. I don't care what your politics are. If we all agree that we're taxed enough in the city of Nashville, if we all agree that Davidson County, they just finished up, you just got a transit tax that the people of Davidson County voted for, you just got an increase in your property taxes that the people of Davidson County did not vote for. Those are two whammy tax increases that Davidson County has gotten in the last year, one of which they voted for and one of which they did not. So if we all agree that we want alleviation in some form or fashion regarding cars on our roadways, if traffic is a problem in the city of Nashville, then why would we not support any way that we could alleviate traffic on our roadways? Instead, the liberals are complaining about not having access to the meeting. Brother Jones, Justin Jones, he's all upset because he didn't get access to the meeting. He wanted to walk in and disrupt the meeting. And what Justin Jones, Representative Jones, is really upset about is that people have figured out his MO. He's not here to provide solutions. He's not here to be a part of the solution. He's here to cause disruption. That's how he gets his face on television cameras in the city of Nashville. And people have figured it out. And if you're not going to be a part of the solution, if you're not going to be here to sit and learn, you're not invited. And no one has to invite you, buddy. Just because you are an elected representative doesn't mean that you get invited to a private function. Oh, but he's very upset about it. And the other liberals are very upset about it, too. They're upset about it because it's not a government-run project, because liberals bow before the altar of government. They do not believe that anything privately funded can be good without governmental input, because it diminishes their power and control over any given project. You understand that? If it doesn't have to do with your money, if it does not give them in some form or fashion power or control, they want nothing to do with it. These liberals do not believe in the private sector. Understand that. Justin Jones does not believe in the free market. He believes in government control of markets. And if I'm wrong, this show is open to Jones or to Heidi Campbell or to Afton Ben or to Gloria Johnson or any other liberal Democrat that wants to come on and explain to me why I'm wrong. I am an open book. An open book. I mean, a super texter just put it this way, and I think I agree with that. Lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. Now, this is not going to alleviate all the problems for traffic in Nashville. And I don't suggest that there aren't legitimate questions that need to be answered. And we try to get those answers. We're going to talk to Jack Johnson, Senate Majority Leader, about this, about what state-level input there was. But let me tell you this. I have invited today, I've invited Heidi Campbell, Senator Heidi Campbell, on the show to talk about her concerns with the tunnel. I have invited Justin Jones on the show to discuss his concerns regarding the tunnel. I have invited Gloria Johnson on the show to discuss her concerns about the tunnel. All three of these people have been vocal in their concerns. And I have invited Mayor Freddie O'Connell on the radio show and the television show to address his concerns. I have heard back from one of these people. Jackson, you want to guess which one?
Heidi.
Incorrect.
The mayor.
The mayor. Alex Apple, who is the public relations or communications director in the mayor's office, has responded, said that he would look at the mayor's schedule. And the mayor has been on the show in the past. And I have no reason to believe that the mayor will not come on the show in the future. So hopefully he can give us enough time. But let me tell you, if and when the mayor does come on, I'm going to challenge him on a couple of fronts. One, the mayor yesterday seemed to indicate in his very terse public statement that he was not included in any of these conversations, and that is not true. The mayor was included. The mayor's office was included. As early as late spring or early summer of last year, it's my understanding, the boring company met with the mayor, and the mayor wanted nothing to do with this project because the mayor was worried that it would somehow it would diminish, or it would confuse, or it would perhaps waylay his attempt to tax the citizens of Davidson County with his transit tax. He didn't want anything getting in the way of his transit tax. Well, after the transit tax passed, apparently the boring people wanted to meet with him again. And he just said no. So the mayor has had opportunity to have his concerns answered, and the mayor has declined those opportunities. And I think the citizens of Davidson County deserve to know why. Isn't this what liberals said they wanted? That's what is fascinating to me. Liberals claim they want more pollution-belching automobiles off the streets of Nashville. They want to alleviate the traffic congestion in Nashville. They want to alleviate some of the climate crisis that goes on in and around our city. And when they're given that opportunity with electrified vehicles running underground, they hate it. And why do they hate it? Well, I think Gloria Johnson expresses it quite clearly. She posted on the X machine about 3 hours ago, "A Superman villain billionaire is controlling our government." Okay. Okay. So Elon Musk is a Superman villain billion. Elon Musk is now Lex Luthor. Okay. Who's Superman, Gloria? Brother Jones? He wearing the cape? Maybe Star Wars is a better analogy, Chewie. That would mean Elon's Darth Vader. What? Why is that? Why do both of you have your head in your hands? I mean, what? I'm sure she'll come on. I'm sure she'll come on. I'm sure she'll come on at some point.
She's setting it up right now.
I'm sure she is. Wasn't it 4364? Wasn't it Heidi Campbell that made you mad and you said for the last time on the Matt Murray? No, that's not what happened at all. I never got mad at Heidi. Heidi was lying, and I asked Heidi to stop lying. Heidi claimed that she had read a bill that I knew that she had not read. It had to do with school choice. Heidi was on the show. She said, I've read the bill. I said, no, you haven't. She said, yes, I have. I said, no, you have not, because the final version of the bill is not dropped. She continued to lie, and I said, stop lying. And she said, I'm not going to sit here and be called a liar. I said, well, you can leave. That's what happened. I never got mad at Heidi. I'm going to tell the people the truth, regardless if it offends the delicate sensibilities of these nonsensical politicians that run around lying to the general public about this, that, and the other thing. So, if you have any concerns or questions about the tunnel, I'm here. The announcement makes me happy. If I'm a Pollyanna, I'll own it. If this thing fails and just bursts into flames at some point over the next year, I'll own it. But I think a forward-thinking approach to traffic and continuing the approach that we have to Middle Tennessee and specifically Nashville, Tennessee, in creating a dynamic tourist destination that it has become, I think that will continue progressing the city forward. And if we can do that in a way that doesn't cost the taxpayers a dime, I am all about it. It's 23 after the hour. We've got more to talk about the NYC shooting, obviously. I have avoided the Sydney Sweeney conversation, but it keeps coming back on me. And so I feel like I've got to, kind of address it because I'm a little confused, honestly, about what the big dust-up is all about. We will discuss that. We'll talk about Ghislaine Maxwell's demands in order to offer her testimony. It's all to come on episode 852 of The Matt Murphy Show. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. U.S. Pest is owned and operated by J.K. and Erica Brister. I love this company. I love these folks. They're good people, and they've grown the company by leaps and bounds since they took over U.S. Pest years ago. They do it by hiring hardworking people that are going to be honest with you. They're going to take care of what they promise they'll take care of. They'll give you their 100% money-back guarantee on all of the services that they provide. And the purpose of pest control is pretty darn simple. The very existence of pest control is to eliminate bugs and rodents and pests from your property, from your life, to prevent insect and rodent-borne disease and just the general ick factor. And when it comes to termites, prevent the damage that can be caused to your home. Every home in Tennessee is threatened. They offer termite protection, full-service pest control, and crawl-space service. If you don't have them in your life, you need them in your life. If you're not satisfied with your current pest control company, a free consultation and estimate can be given by U.S. Pest. They love the United States of America and hate bugs. 590-1260, 590-1260, or uspest.com.
Another tourist ignores the warnings and pays the price. Details coming up at 3:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Thank you much, Ken Weaver. 28 minutes after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Many of you asking questions. I don't pretend to have all of the answers, but as a fan of this proposal, at least thus far from everything I've heard, I mean, it is a private sector proposal that has been granted approval by the state of Tennessee. The city of Nashville had an opportunity to be a part of this. They chose not to take part in it. But several of you have questions, and it makes a lot of sense. I would encourage you to think of this tunnel like a subway, except with Tesla cars. It is a closed-loop system, meaning you don't get to drive your vehicle on it, even if your vehicle is a Tesla. That's not the premise. The premise is they will have Tesla electric vehicles, and it's my understanding that initially they will be driven by humans. The idea is that eventually they will be fully autonomous, so they will be self-driving vehicles. But several of you have questions. Heather has written in and wants to know on Musk's tunnel. This sounds like a terrible idea to me. What about long-term expenses for upkeep? Plus, we already have so many underground utilities. How much traffic will it really move? And if it's only from downtown to the airport, it seems like that's just for tourists, even though many tourists don't stay downtown. All good questions. I will answer these in the order that you brought them. Long-term upkeep. It's private tunnel. It's not a state tunnel. It's not a city tunnel. It's their tunnel. So just like you upkeep your car and you upkeep your house because it's your stuff, they upkeep the tunnel. And they don't make money if people don't use the tunnel. You see how that works? Plus, we already have so many underground utilities. Obviously, it will be up to the boring company to avoid any and all underground utilities. It's my understanding that if they bore 30 to 50 feet, which is the plan, underneath, they are going to be beneath the vast majority of any underground utilities like electrical lines, sewage, etc. How much traffic will it really move? They said 1,800 passengers an hour either way, which is a lot of passengers. That might be maximum capacity, and if it's only from downtown to the airport, it seems like that's just for tourists. Yes, exactly. So I want to get into this in a second. Look, we're a tourist community. Why don't y'all pay income taxes? And I understand that there was a fight. I know all about the fight that Super Talk led with Phil Valentine and all of that when they tried to get an income tax. But philosophically, why doesn't the government come at you for more money? Why do they have the ability to run government without demanding more of your money? I'm going to answer that question in a moment, and I'm going to give you a chance to answer it. 615-737-9986. Here comes the news.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. All of Middle Tennessee under an extreme heat warning today. They say we could see a heat index value upwards of 110 degrees, but it's actually been going down since noon today. Right now, National Weather Service says the heat index is 103. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. FDA officials say they're beginning the process to deem 7-0 as an illicit drug. 7-0 is a byproduct of kratom that the FDA says is more potent and is opioid-like. Officials say there's not much known about it, but that it's being marketed to children and could lead to a dependence or addiction. Deputy Health and Human Services Secretary Jim O'Neill says it's being sold in places like vape stores and gas stations.
This is a recipe for public health disaster. Young people, veterans, and people who suffer from chronic pain or addiction are being misled into thinking that these are safe alternatives. They're not.
In Tennessee, kratom products containing synthetic 7-0 or exceeding a certain potency of naturally occurring 7-0 are illegal. And the price you pay at the grocery store might go right up before your eyes. ABC's Rhiannon Alley says more supermarkets now using digital ads, meaning the price you pay for a particular grocery item can change several times per day.
They're being used more and more across the U.S. Walmart has installed digital tags in more than 400 locations, with plans to reach 2,300 stores by next year. Kroger and Whole Foods are expanding pilot programs as well.
Now, Kroger insists the labels will not be used for surge pricing. Companies say the tags help cut back on time-consuming labor. Walmart says it used to take 2 full days to update prices across the store. With digital tags, just minutes. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. East Bank going westbound. We've got an injury crash on the right shoulder. That's going to be 24 westbound at Jefferson Street. Then in Antioch, police activity. Right lane is blocked, 24 westbound at Hickory Hollow Parkway. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Y'all hear him? Heat index up to 187 degrees. I heard that. I think I heard that correctly. One way or the other, I know this correctly, that if you have waterproofing issues at your home, if you have foundation issues at your home, you need USS in your life. USSTN.com is the website to find out more. They've been keeping homes stable and dry since 1994. Here's the bottom line, friends. What we don't know certainly can hurt us. You know, the old saying isn't right. What you don't know can't hurt you. No, it can hurt you. And if you don't know whether your foundation is in disrepair, if the normal settling is happening or abnormal settling, you need to know. And USS is the answer for you. They can grant you peace of mind. They're members of our community. They've been here since 1994. They've been helping folks just like you. And they have just about a 100% satisfaction rate of 2 thumbs up, absolutely satisfied. Why? Because they do the job the right way the first time. They only charge you for what they've done. They don't try to upcharge you on anything. They do it right. USSTN.com. They guarantee their best at USS, keeping homes stable and dry since 1994. 615-488-7855, 488-7855, or go to USSTN.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It is the Matt Murphy Radio Show. We've got some thoughts on the New York City shooting that happened yesterday late in the show. We covered that for you in the last hour of the show. I also have a few thoughts about Josh Hawley. Josh Hawley, the senator, is recommending that we get like a $600 rebate back. He's calling it, what is he calling it? It's a tariff rebate. This is a horrible idea. I'll explain why I believe it's a horrible idea coming up in a moment. Ghislaine Maxwell demands certain things, and I don't think this lady should be demanding anything. I'll share that with you coming up in a moment. But right now, talking about the tunnel announcement from yesterday, I think it's a big deal. The reaction on the part of the political left has been comical at best. We'll continue covering that for you. Get your thoughts and calls on it, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986. 0552 says, Mr. Murphy... I don't know. Somebody's saying that somebody that they work with looks like me. That's why I should vet some of these super texts before I actually bring them to the air. Thank you for that. Will there be cell service in the tunnel? Have no idea. I would assume yes. I imagine there's a way to get cell service down there, but you are underground. But I do not know. 9369 says, I'm not against the tunnel, but I feel one underground fire will shut it down permanently or make it wildly unpopular and unused. All of that work for nothing. What happens if a Tesla catches fire? So I'm getting a number of these. It's my understanding they've not had this issue in the Las Vegas loop. They've not had an issue of fire in the loop. I would think an electric vehicle would be less prone to that, but I understand the concern about some of these electric vehicles, not necessarily Teslas, but electric vehicles, generally speaking. But the loop is running, and look, there's danger in any system. And if a private venture does something and the private venture turns out to be dangerous in a way that people aren't going to take it, then that private venture shuts down. That's what the free market's all about. The state is here to, at least in a very broad way, make sure that the building of the structure and everything else is up to code and whatnot. But other than that, it is up to the private operator to make sure that there is safety measures. There are safety measures in place. It's my understanding that there are plenty of safety measures in place in Las Vegas that would prevent that sort of thing. And no one is forcing you to go. Elon Musk is involved. He owns Starlink. Yeah, I can't imagine that he would not give us phone access underneath the tunnels. Yes, obviously this tunnel is going to be presented with the same issues that any tunnel that's ever been created has. You have to have ventilation. You have to make sure that there's emergency access. You have to make sure that if a subway train goes down, that you have an ability to get people off that subway and out of the tunnel. You have to make sure if a Tesla gets a flat tire, that you have a way to get that Tesla off the road or off the tunnel and to a safe location, get those folks out of it. Obviously, the basic, the basic dangers of life aren't going to change. Nothing's going to be perfect. Nothing's going to be perfect. I find it fascinating that I'm normally the curmudgeon, and I'm excited about this thing, and everybody else is kind of on it. I don't know.
Well, what about the buses, Matt?
The buses are going to be I promise you this. If you look at the buses today and you see how empty the buses are, I promise you they will be no less empty after the tunnel is built and up and running. I promise you the buses will remain as empty then as they are today, with very few riders. That's my promise to you. Plenty of room on the buses for everybody. Tim has a thought on the tunnel. Hey, Tim.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm great, Tim.
Hey, I don't understand why people are looking at this. I agree with you 1,000%. I don't understand why people are not looking at this like any other private enterprise, like any other taxi company, limo service, anything to that effect. They're not up in arms over Metro Livery ordering a new bus to take people from the airport to downtown. They're not up in arms with any cab company ordering new cabs to take people from downtown to the airport back and forth. To me, this is no different than any other mode of public hireable transportation. And I don't understand what all the rough is about, with the exception of, I think you hit the nail on the head when you said the liberals, because no money's going through their pocket on it.
Well, no money's going through their pocket. There's no way for them to get credit, and it's Elon Musk. And they've decided that they hate Elon Musk. They used to love Elon Musk. Now they hate him because he became a Trump man.
Exactly. But I agree with you 1,000%. I think you've hit the nail on the head. I do believe this is a good thing. I don't see it myself as any different than any other limo service or taxi company that's going to transport people back and forth, with the exception of they're just doing it in a tunnel where they're not interfering with traffic. So it's actually better than any other hired service to get you from the airport to downtown, whether it be Uber, Lyft, taxi, limo, whatever.
Right, and all of those companies, I mean, if there's any organized pushback on this tunnel, it should be from the Uber people and the Lyft people. But those companies will still exist. I can imagine that there's a subset of tourists that have no interest going into a tunnel because there are claustrophobic people that they wouldn't do well underneath the city. I get that. I would do it. But I'd be a little bit squeamish about it. I don't like being in tunnels.
We should take the tunnel to work one day.
Okay. I'm down.
We both live out that way.
Yeah, that's right. Meet up at the airport and let's go.
Let's take the tunnel.
Many Tennesseans do not share our enthusiastic attitude about it, mostly Democrats. Tennessee House Democratic Caucus Chair John Ray Clemens said what Tennesseans witnessed today, that's yesterday, was the result of a smart businessman identifying an easy target in starry-eyed Bill Lee. No responsible executive would give away unrestricted and unlimited underground property rights to an unhinged billionaire because we're doing so much with that ground, who Donald Trump doesn't even trust anymore, and grant him and his company exclusive access rights beneath our city and a monopoly to profit in perpetuity. Such a decision without necessary due diligence is fiscally irresponsible and legally suspect. I mean, also given the issues that have arisen in Las Vegas due to a lack of oversight, there are no, what issues are you talking about? The legal and environmental consequences of this proposal are of significant concern. So the Democrats are going to try to stymie this proposal by putting it in court, I would imagine. That's where we will go to next. Here's what I would say. How will it impact you? We're not tourists. Now, it will perpetuate the it factor for Nashville, Tennessee, which is a good thing for all of us. Because as much as we might not like Lower Broadway, as much as we might not go there, as much as you might think that the project on the East Bank really has nothing to do with you, it has everything to do with you. I am a small L libertarian. I do not believe that government should be involved in things like the building of private stadiums. One of the reasons that I did not, while I take philosophical issue with $500 million of state money going into that Tennessee stadium, the new Nissan stadium that's going up across the river, while I philosophically disagree with the idea of local municipal dollars going into that stadium, I also understand the broader picture. Our taxes are relatively low in this state. I understand that it could be better, especially if you live in Davidson County. When I moved to the state of Tennessee, I knew that I was moving into a state that had no income tax. I came from a state that did have an income tax, albeit relatively low, Alabama. I grew up in a state of Georgia that has an income tax. If you've never lived in a state with an income tax, let me assure you, you got it pretty good here in Tennessee. Why do we have no income tax in the state of Tennessee? And why do we have a relatively low property tax in the state of Tennessee? When I moved here, guys, I thought, well, the state's going to get me somewhere. The government's going to bite me somewhere. and I went and got my taxes taken care of. I mean, rather my tags taken care of on my automobile, and it was less money than I paid in Alabama. And I got my license moved from Alabama to Tennessee, and it was more length of time and less money than in Alabama. And I continued to wait for the catch. And then I realized that we as Tennesseans are blessed. We're blessed with a certain topography that people gravitate toward. We're blessed with the amenities that come with a tourism industry that keeps people coming, whether it's to the Smoky Mountains or Gatlinburg or Pigeon Forge or Dollywood or Graceland over there to the west, or right here in Nashville, Music City, USA. Well, while we are blessed with those amenities, those things don't keep themselves up. And there has to be a certain level of institutional contribution in order to make sure that the people still want to come to your city. Well, this has the benefit of continuing that premise that Nashville is the it destination for tourism. And I understand that it's fashionable for residents to poo-poo the tourists. But when they come down here and they spend $15 a pop for their drinks, it matters to us, y'all. Understand that. It does. You can not like it, but if those people stopped coming tomorrow, I guarantee you the government's still going to want its money. I guarantee you that the lawmakers that call themselves conservative are going to have their hands out to the citizens of this community to continue to fund those quote-unquote necessary and needed projects. And if they can't do it with the dollars generated through tourism, they're going to find it some way. It's what they tried to do when tourism was relatively down, when they went after a state income tax. And it was pushed back on by the people of this community and by the people who were on this radio station at the time, in this slot, in this afternoon time shift, Phil Valentine. And it was such a great example of the people speaking back to the elected officials that I knew about it when I lived in Alabama. I mean, we talked about it, about how wonderful it was to see the people pushing back on the proposal. But if you don't think they'll come back for another bite, maybe not through an income tax, but through other forms of taxation, my point is this. This is to complement the tourism industry primarily, but it has the residual impact of alleviating traffic on our roadways and continuing this idea that Nashville is an it place to go in terms of conventions, in terms of tourism. And that's all good. That's all good no matter who does it. And man, oh man, the idea that it happens at no cost to the taxpayers is very exciting. More coming up, 52 after the hour. It is the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Cover Nash. Shane Ring and Cover Nash, they have you covered when it comes to your insurance needs. Friends, I'm not good at math, okay? And I don't want to take a math test when it comes to our insurance. Well, sadly, a lot of times you do. You feel like you're taking a math test when it comes to your insurance. If you go to covernash.com and book your appointment, Shane can make the complex simple. He's got programs available for you. And folks, if you have specific needs concerning your health or the health of your family, don't worry, Shane has you covered because they have over 75 top-rated health insurance companies, and they will work every aspect of the market to make sure that they have the right plan for you, including a new nationwide PPO option with a deductible as low as $250. You heard me correct. $250 deductible. It is possible when you contact Cover Nash. Ask him about it. Ask Shane when you make the call that so many others have made to 615-465-0023, 465-0023, or covernash.com. That's covernash.com. Health insurance on your terms, not terms of the government, through Cover Nash, online at covernash.com.
Elon Musk's Boring Company is hiring to help build the Music City Loop, and another tourist ignores the warnings and pays the price. These stories and more coming up at 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So I heard Mandis and Mandis and Chris Hand talking this morning about achieving 10,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel, which is kind of nice.
Oh, well.
Oh, yeah. We feel like we contributed just a little bit to that. If you go over there and you look at the chat, it's a bunch of crazy folks. And I love every single one of you.
Yeah, you like that stuff.
Oh, man. Oh, man. It's just, I'm in the muck and the mire. I absolutely love it. If you go over and you see the title, what was the title today there, Jackson? You want to tell everybody what the title was?
What do you want from me? I'm the host and not an author. The Murphy Show.
You want to tell everybody why the title is what it is?
Because I asked you what do you want for the title today, and that's what you yelled at me.
So Jackson, right before the show, I'm getting ready, and he goes, "Hey, what do you want? What do you want the title of the podcast or the title of the YouTube to be?" And I said, "What do you want from me? I'm the host, not an author." And so that's what he titled it. Good for you, Jackson.
All caps too.
Good for you. Well, yeah, I think that's the way I said it. That's exactly the way
I knew Brother Jackson was going to fit in whenever we were talking about pineapples on pizza.
Uh-huh.
And somebody said it comes from Canada, and Jackson said, that sounds about right.
You know, we might let Jackson stay around for a minute or two.
We might.
You know, it's really up to him. I don't know. Foosball might pull him back across the street. I don't know.
That's true. Football.
It's coming, Ken.
It is.
Before you know it, it'll be here.
I can't freaking wait.
I'm very excited. I'm excited myself, I must admit. For those asking on the YouTube chat, my shirt says, "I'm not yelling. This is how I talk."
Right.
That's what my shirt says.
I like what your hat says.
My hat says, "The hell I won't."
That's very much Brother Murphy.
Yeah, thank you, Ken.
That's very much Brother Murphy.
I saw this hat and I said, "That's it's very rare that an article of clothing speaks to me." But both of these articles of clothing spoke to me, especially the hat, because that's pretty much the attitude I have about it. What you said? What the hell I won't?
You're telling me you think I need to do what?
The hell I won't. Well, normally I say, "The hell I won't." And they say, "Stop yelling," and then I point to my shirt. I'm not.
That's just how I talk.
Tom, hang in there. Randy, you too. Richard, we'll get to you as we continue. By the way, we did not get to a Happy Gilmore 2 review yesterday because of this New York City situation that happened in the last hour of the show. But hopefully we'll get to that today as young Jackson Williams has seen Happy Gilmore 2, and he can give us a full review. Plus, we got more to come on the New York City shooting, as mentioned. Josh Hawley wants to give you more money back. More money in your pocket. I think it's a bad idea. I don't want you to have more money in your pocket from the government. I'll tell you why. Plus, Ghislaine Maxwell is making demands. What? Demands? Why don't you get your butt back in your cell and shut up? More to come on it. Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. National Weather Service says the heat index holding steady at 103 degrees. Actual temperature 95. We're under an extreme heat warning today in Middle Tennessee. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Elon Musk's The Boring Company is hiring to help build the Music City Loop, an underground tunnel connecting downtown to the airport at no cost to taxpayers. Going to hold a hiring event Thursday evening between 6 and 8, taking applications for construction, superintendents and foremen, for welders, electricians, and engineers. Democrats in Tennessee don't think this is a good idea. Channel 4's Marius Payton says we might learn more at a specially called meeting of the Tennessee State Building Commission on Thursday.
Tennessee House Democrats slammed the announcement. They say the state leaders are giving special treatment to billionaires and ignoring local residents and businesses. Some suggested taxpayers could end up paying for the problems and the issues the tunnel could bring about, and that we could also end up paying more to sit in traffic. The Boring Company is already hiring for the Nashville project, but these lawmakers want their questions answered before they even break ground. Now, Nashville Mayor Freddie O'Connell was not at Monday's announcement, but his office told us they have a number of operational questions to understand the potential impacts on the city as well as the people who live here.
Nashville Business Journal reports the Boring Company intends to lease a portion of a state-owned parking lot near the state capitol to launch its tunnel boring machine and manage construction activities related to the tunnel project. There are new reasons to doubt that Ghislaine Maxwell will answer the questions set to be posed by the House Oversight Committee, which subpoenaed her earlier this month. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
The letter from Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney stresses that she's prepared to plead the Fifth if the deposition by the House Oversight Committee goes forward as scheduled August 11th. They note her appeal of her conviction is still pending before the Supreme Court. But the lawyers do offer paths to fulsome testimony from Maxwell, including a congressional grant of immunity or a presidential grant of clemency. An Oversight Committee spokesperson swiftly responded to the letter, ruling out immunity as an option.
A 17-year-old boy recovering from what are being called significant thermal burns from a geyser at Yellowstone National Park.
Yellowstone National Park rangers say the teenager was on a hike in the thermal area when his foot broke through the thin crust and he suffered burns to a lower extremity. He had significant thermal burns to his foot and ankle area. Emergency medical staff got him to a hospital. Yellowstone staff is saying it's a reminder for park visitors to only walk on boardwalks and unmarked trails. The water in hot springs can cause severe or fatal burns, and the crust around hot springs can break. Alex Stone, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Over on the East Loop, going westbound, we've got an injury accident on the right shoulder there at Jefferson Street. In Antioch, police activity still blocking the right lane, 24 westbound at Hickory Hollow Parkway. Real slow going if you're eastbound 24 once you take the ramp off of 440 eastbound. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
During the break there, as you were listening to the news, perhaps the weather forecast, and just generally speaking, cooling your jets after a lively hour number one, I was attempting to text Congressman Tim Burchett. Have you heard about Tim Burchett, Ken Weaver? Have you heard what happened to brother Tim Burchett?
No, what?
Got kicked by a horse.
What?
Yeah, apparently over the weekend.
Is he okay?
He's, according to Will Garrett, his press secretary, he's going to be all right.
Wow.
I've reached out to him to see if he's going to be okay, but man, kick by, that's nothing to.
No, sir.
Broke a rib or maybe two, we are told, but he will be on the mend, and he's strong as an ox and healthy as a horse, so apparently he's going to be A-okay. But we're just hearing about that from media sources, and I'm reaching out to him to make sure everything's okay. That sounds rough.
Yes, sir.
But he lives on a farm. There you go. I bet Congressman John Rose has been kicked by his share of livestock over the years, considering his time that he spends on farms. Congressman Rose joins us right now on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, John. How are you?
Good afternoon, Matt. Thanks for having me on the Matt Murphy Show today.
It is an absolute pleasure. We hear that your colleague, Congressman Burchett, got kicked by a horse over the weekend, which begs the question, when's the last time livestock has attacked you, John? I mean, I know you're on the farm a lot, so I imagine you've had your fair share of incidences.
Yeah, fortunately, none in the last several years. My good friend Frank Lucas from Oklahoma got run over by a bull about 18 months ago, and it did a real number on him. I think broke his hip, and I hope Tim tells me he's okay. And he's making the rounds about that, but I think he'll be all right. He's kind of tough, so it probably takes more than a good swift kick to put him down. But back in the day, I did get run over by one or more cows and got kicked a lot when we used to milk cows. So you never quite get used to it, but it's part of being on a farm.
My grandpa always told me, and I think he was lying to me, John. My grandpa said you just have to sweet talk them before you start milking them, and I don't think that's true. But there's
some truth to that. There's some truth to that. You play them soothing music, and that calms them down. And then if they've got the right amount of feed, then they're pretty good. But it's about personality when it comes to cows. You learn the ones that are going to cause you trouble, and maybe then they can sense that you're skittish when you're around them. But you do sweet talk them. There's no doubt about that.
You traded cows and bulls and chickens on the farm, and you went up to D.C. and now you're dealing with snakes, right? I mean, you deal with.
That's right. I'd a whole lot rather have to deal with livestock on the farm than the livestock in Washington.
Well, I wanted to get your thoughts on what's going on in your district. I mean, I understand that it is apparently an agreement that the state has made with the boring company, but obviously, I mean, I had to do the research, John, and I will admit to you, this morning I got up and I was thinking about this announcement that came yesterday afternoon, and I thought, well, is the airport in the 5th district, the 6th district? I didn't know which district it was in, and I looked it up, and it obviously, you probably knew this. I could have asked you, and you would have known that it is in the 6th congressional district. And I'm curious about your thoughts. For me, it's exciting. I love it when a private enterprise that is forward-thinking about how to alleviate traffic off Tennessee roadways. I don't want to lead the witness, as they say, in any way. What are your thoughts on this, John?
What you're saying.
Oh, dear. We lost him. John went bye-bye. Well, maybe we could get Elon to help us out with a Starlink, and maybe that could help us with our cell phone. Cell phone communication is a wonderful thing, y'all. We can communicate with virtually anybody, virtually anywhere, but when it goes bad, it goes bad. When it goes south, it goes south. Hopefully, we'll get John back on the line, and we'll get an answer from him. Until then, I will take your telephone calls on this matter, 615-737-9986. A lot of you are telling us the last time you got kicked by a wild animal, and several of you are indicating that those wild animals were on 2 legs. Yikes! Let's talk. I don't want to know anymore. Let's talk to Stephen, who has a thought on the tunnel. Hey, Stephen.
Hey, Matt. Permission to be funny.
Come on.
So this is I don't see this as really going anywhere other than maybe the autonomous thing in the near future, because for one, if you're going to go downtown Nashville, the traffic's really not that bad. I mean, unless it's like in a big event that everybody's going to or something. But if you think about it, even once you get to downtown Nashville, there's all kind of places you have to go to once you get down there. So you're still going to have to use an Uber or a Lyft or a taxi once you get to downtown Nashville. So I don't really see it, being all that great. What I wanted to say was, Elon, if you want to do something cool, man, give us a freaking flying car, because all your rockets and all this other stuff, man, that's going on, nobody really cares. You want to really help us out and have somebody liking you, give us a flying car, man. That's all.
Here's the trouble, Stephen. Who's going to operate those flying cars? You?
Yeah,
I don't trust you. I don't trust you with a car on the ground, Stephen.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is just put your location in there, and then you're good to go.
So the car would be largely autonomously flying. Yeah.
In all honesty, I would never get in a flying car. You would never see me in it. I think the closest we're going to get to that is like a drone van or something where you can put like up to 10 to 12 people in it, and it's all going to be, operated by somebody. I don't see no flying cars.
No, I mean, it fraught with peril, the idea of the flying car. But thank you, Stephen, for the call. I think we got John back. John,
I'm back, and I don't know where you lost me. I was on a tear.
You were on a. Well, we're going to start again because right as you started answering the question, the joke that all of the listeners made is you must have gone into a tunnel. See what they did there. But obviously, big announcement, Boring Company, an agreement with the state. It's my understanding that the city had an opportunity to be there too, but they chose to turn that down. It's my understanding that that was political in nature, but I just wanted you, John, as the representative from the airport. I mean, this feels like it's going to augment so much of what's going on to build out the airport and make it an international hub and continue the hot tourist destination that we truly are. Just start back from the beginning and talk to me about your thoughts on this tunnel.
Sure. Well, I think you are on the right track, Matt, with what I've heard you say earlier in the show, and that is, I always say when I'm speaking to groups, the government is not good at many things, maybe anything. And so when you can get the private sector involved, and especially in a project like this, which is kind of novel and a little unusual, I think you take the opportunity to let Elon Musk put his money at risk. There is a role for the governor, for state government, local government to weigh in here and make sure that this is done appropriately and that there's not some risk to the public interest. But generally speaking, I think we should embrace this and let's see what happens.
I absolutely love the concept, love the idea. I think it continues to present Nashville and Middle Tennessee as a great tourist destination. I think we're blessed living in Tennessee. There's so many different aspects of this state that people want to come and visit, spend their money, and we want to continue to keep our front porch nice and tidy and available to everybody that wants to come here. I think that's a great aspect about living here, and this is a very exciting component to everything else that's going on in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, obviously, you know what? If the timing is right and everything falls properly for John Rose, you could be the governor when this thing opens up. How about that?
Right. I might get invited to the opening of it, so that might be good. And I'll invite the mayor, too, because it seems like he ought to be there. But,
right.
Even if he's not for it.
Yeah, whether he's for it or not, we'll extend the invitation, be the bigger man. Well, I mean, with that in mind, I mean, we're kind of at a lull. Obviously, we're at a summer break for the legislature, but I felt like we were hitting a head of steam, not only with the big, beautiful bill becoming the big, beautiful law, but also some rescission measures that came to fruition before you guys left Washington, D.C. When you get back to the grind in the fall, I mean, do you hope to continue some of that activity that was going on before you left?
Absolutely. I think probably the first thing up is when we get back in September is going to be to see if we can fund the government for the upcoming year. The House has made a lot of progress on that already. I think we passed over 60% of the appropriations for the coming fiscal year before we left town. And so I hope we can pick up on that. I hope there is not a Schumer shutdown, but it sounds like the Democrats, because they have failed at everything else, they may try to see if they can shut down the government. I think that would be very unfortunate if they do that. And then I think we pick up on the rescissions and on implementing the Trump vision for restoring the greatness of America. And as I think you're already aware, we have 2 more bites at the apple with respect to reconciliation. And so I think you'll see us start to queue up the next effort there and the next rescission packages. And, we obviously have a lot of work yet to do in terms of getting government to live within its means. And so Republicans, we're not going to rest on our laurels. Clearly, the president is not. And so I think Congress will pick up with the winning streak that we've been on before we came home for this district work period. And there's a lot of work to do. So I'm kind of chomping at the bit, ready to see what we take on next. And, we've certainly got a lot in front of us.
We have talked on my show quite a bit, Congressman, about how you get from non-regular order, which, I don't know that we've done continuing resolution after continuing resolution, it seems like, all of my adult life, how you work that back to regular order and, by extension, separate appropriation. That's the goal, right? 12 separate appropriation bills, judging each appropriation bill on its own merit, not cramming it into an omnibus bill, which is just fraught with overspending and peril. That's the goal. How do we get – we were told that, hey, let's get the big, beautiful bill done. We need this to get us to the fall. How does that translate to that regular order and that normal way of doing business that we have all said that we want for so long?
Well, I think the House we've been trying to get our sea legs back over the last couple of Congresses, but really this Congress and last couple of years, better way of saying it. And I think we're making progress. So, the appropriations process in the House has been functioning close to normal. We haven't been able to get a few of those appropriations bills across the line. And then, of course, the Senate only, in Republican hands during this year. And so they actually are starting to move the ball as well. So, let's hope that we can get there this time around and do this in regular order. That may be a heavy lift, but we've taken on issues all year that no one thought we could do. So I'm optimistic that we're moving closer to that. As I said when I lost you earlier, we can take on reconciliation a couple of times yet in this Congress, and I think that will afford us the opportunity to get to continue the work we did with the One Big Beautiful Law and get the country back on track. But we're blessed to have a president who's not waiting for Congress, and he's making deals, and those deals are going to buttress our American economy and I think produce good results in terms of GDP growth for Americans and bring jobs back home. And I think Congress can continue to follow the president's lead, frankly.
I feel like we're in the middle of this stream in terms of right-sizing our government, identifying waste, fraud, and abuse, shrinking the size of the federal government, getting back to the states. Maybe not even in the middle. Maybe we're just at the beginning. And yet I see that where Missouri GOP Senator Josh Hawley is introducing a bill that would bring $600 back per adult and child in a tariff rebate check. I'm absolutely against this, John. Not that I don't want Americans to keep more of their money, but I do believe that we need to make sure that we're no longer spending at a deficit on the federal level before we start talking about things like rebate checks. I'm glad that people are keeping more of their money. I'm glad that the tax cuts became permanent in the big, beautiful law. But I feel like this idea of sending money back to individuals in the form of a check might be a little bit premature. Have you heard about this, and do you have any thoughts on it?
Well, I've just heard about it. I agree with you. I think when you're spending $2 trillion a year more than you're taking in, and we're going to, we'll have made a small dent in that at this point, just a very small dent in that. We don't need to be thinking about how to spend money. There is there is clearly a spending problem in Washington, and I think this is just an illustration that the overwhelming tendency of Congress to figure out how to spend money and not how to save money. So we need to. The biggest benefit that we could give to the American people is to get the government back living within its means. And so this is no time to be handing checks out, in my personal opinion, particularly because I think we're going to see this economy just really supercharged with all of the accomplishments that the president has achieved in his first 6 months in office.
It's funny, John. You and I had it on good authority from our friends on the political left that we'd be in a recession right now. Remember that when they told us that, Jen?
Absolutely, yes. And it's you see a few of the more practical liberals, like I hate to say it, but Bill Maher, who's admitting I was just wrong. He's saying I was just wrong.
Yep.
That's Bill Maher saying he was wrong, and he was, and we have those on the right who were poo-pooing the president's approach to trade, and now they're kind of having to eat that because the president has made this work. And the full history hasn't been written here yet, but it certainly looks promising at this point. We've seen in the space of just over a week, the president, or a couple of weeks here, close the two biggest deals in history. And I think anyone who looks at those practically will tell you that's exactly what he's done, and they're good for America, and I think they will supercharge the American economy, and then the job of members of Congress is to help the president follow through on that, and then not get distracted and start spending money where we shouldn't.
Been a pretty good summer thus far. Let's hope it keeps going. John, thank you for your time. Thank you for your thoughts on the economic development that we're seeing coming to Middle Tennessee. And come by and see us next time you're in Nashville.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks for having me
care.
on. And it's a great honor and privilege to represent the people of Tennessee.
Take care. There's John Rose joining us, 6th Congressional District Representative, representing B&A Airport, B&A being in the 6th Congressional District. More in a moment, 25 after the hour. It is Super Talk 99.7. My name is Matt Murphy. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Defend Systems. Brink Fiddler and his team. We saw what happened in New York City yesterday. And you saw the drama play out before our very eyes. Sadly, these things are happening more and more regularly. You saw Reno, Nevada, the casino out there. We saw the incident that occurred over the weekend at a Walmart in Michigan. These happen every day. The likelihood of something like this, a workplace violence situation, an emergency due to an intruder, a shooting of a mass variety, the possibility of it happening to you is very, very low, and no one wants to scare you into thinking that you're going to be next. But the fact of the matter is it happens every day, it seems, and those possibilities are not zero. This is why we say hope is not a plan. It is time to get trained. If you're a decision maker in a business, if you're a decision maker at a school or a church, you need Brink Fiddler and Defend Systems. They are the best when it comes to rapid response medical, emergency and intruder action plans, active shooter response, workplace violence, all customized to your facility. Call this number today and schedule an appointment with Brink and his team. 615-236-6484, 236-6484, or defendsystems.com. So if you go to the website painisbad.com, you'll see the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Well, let's think about that website for a moment. Painisbad.com. Pain is bad. And you want to alleviate that pain any way that you can. Now, if you have been trained that you got to take pills to overcome the pain that you're experiencing, or if you've been trained that you have to take needles, injections to block the pain, let me disabuse you of those notions. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley want to see you because they have spinal decompression technology and techniques that can alleviate your pain without the need for pills, without the need for needles, without the need for surgery, and you can be pain-free in just a few short visits. Friends, let's get this done. And as an incentive, they have the Big Daddy Trump special going on. This is huge. $12. This is an opportunity for you to get in to see what's going on. $12 for a comprehensive examination, x-rays if needed, a diagnosis, and your first treatment. $12. That is a way to open the door to you to see what is possible. You can be pain-free without having to depend on all of these other things. Go to painisbad.com or call today, 615-246-5009, 246-5009.
.4:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everyone in Middle Tennessee is under that extreme heat warning. And right now, the National Weather Service says the heat index keeps going down. At one point today, we were 104. Right now, we're 101. Actual temperature 95. Full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Here in Nashville, Channel 4's Stacey Cameron's covering the next steps for the Music City Loop tunnel system that will connect downtown with BNA.
The State Building Commission is set at a specially called meeting on Thursday morning to talk about the next steps. One of the things they'll discuss is signing off on a temporary lease for the boring company who's going to build this tunnel to host their construction equipment. They want to park it down at 637 Rosa Parks Boulevard. It's the big lot right down the hill from the state capitol. Now, we've also asked Nashville City Attorney today if they'll have to sign off on this project before it moves forward or if the state can just let them start digging. We were referred to the boring company to answer our questions.
Well, the Help Wanted sign's out for workers to help build the Music City Loop. They're holding a hiring event tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., looking for engineers, operations coordinators, electricians, welders, and mechanics. And in the widening search for a double murderer, police are distributing a new sketch of the suspect in Arkansas and neighboring Oklahoma. Clinton and Kristen Brink were killed on a hiking trail in a state park Saturday in Arkansas, but their daughters weren't hurt. Dr. Angelo Brown teaches criminology at Arkansas State University. Doesn't hold out hope for a quick resolution to the case.
It seems that the majority of cases that are similar to this, it takes months, years, even sometimes decades to solve these cases.
And another pitcher with the Cleveland Guardians is benched after officials say he may have bet on his sport. Closer Emmanuel Clase has been put on leave pending an investigation. It comes week after his teammate Louis Ortiz was placed on leave until at least August 31st for the same reason. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got a crash on the left shoulder, 24 eastbound at I-440. Then on the East Bank going westbound, that's an injury crash on the shoulder there at Jefferson Street. Got an injury crash reported by police 40 eastbound near Church Street. And then on the South Loop, 65 northbound at I-40, the South Loop there, police reporting a crash. And then in Creve Hall, a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane, 65 northbound near the Hogan Road overpass. Looks like we got a brand new crash. Just popped up right as I'm speaking. It's in Berry Hill, 65 southbound at Armory Drive. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Obviously, I encourage you in Middle Tennessee to contact Premier Generators to see how they can assist you in giving you a home generation system in your home. Every homeowner should consider having a backup generator because when the power goes out, everything changes. Comfort, safety, peace of mind. You need that peace of mind to keep your home running, your food safe, your family protected. It's not just convenience, it's critical, it's safety orientation, and it can increase the value of your home, absolutely, and especially in areas that experience frequent outages. If you have a standby generator from Premier Generators, it is considered a high-value upgrade that buyers appreciate for comfort, security, and long-term savings. Premier Generators offers a free consultation and a 10-year warranty. Right now, their team is ready to help. I encourage you to contact them today. Ask about that 10-year warranty. Friends, call today to get this offer. 855-POWER-IS-ON. That's 855-PWR-ISON. 855-797-4766 or online at premiergenerators.com. Widespread and wireless communication for the masses. It's the Matt Murphy Radio Show, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm glad you're here. Ken Weaver's back in News Closet B. He delivers headlines twice an hour and when it breaks. There's young Jackson Williams. He's controlling the experience, screening your telephone calls, punching the buttons, doing the job of three men. And we appreciate both of those two gentlemen making it possible to present this broadcast to you this afternoon. Thank you, and I hope you're having a happy Tuesday. It's our episode 852 today on this July 29. I hear that it's hot outside. That's what I'm told.
It is, Brother Murphy.
I was out. Hey, you ever been out to that I don't mean to give folks free plugs, but hell, we've been doing it for the Boring Company for the better part of 2 days. That used book joint out in West Nashville, McKay's. You know what I'm talking about?
I do not.
It's a used book place. It's like they could do books and they do CDs and they do record albums.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. And you can turn in your old stuff, and they'll give you a price for it, and then they'll give you a credit to the store, or they give you cash. They give you much less cash than they will credit. So I just turn that into credit, and then and go buy you something nice, like a book or a record album.
Yeah, boy, I like mining for vinyl.
Let me tell you, they got a great vinyl selection, an insane vinyl selection.
I bet.
And I was out there earlier today. I was turning in CDs.
Yeah?
And just turning them in, and I'll go later tonight and see what they're going to give me for them.
Yeah?
And I was trying to load one-handed CDs into these buckets out of my car. My goodness. It was hot. I was sweating everywhere. I mean, every crack that God gave me, I was sweating on.
You could have given those to me, and I'd have given you credit. I'd have said Matt Murphy gave these to me.
You like that CD? Matt Murphy gave me that one. That was my credit. Have you ever been to McKay's?
Oh, yeah, I love McKay's.
It's good.
I'm going.
It's good. No,
You haven't been, Ken?
I never have.
Oh, it's awesome.
Right off of 40 at exit 199. There you go.
Well,
great shop.
It's a great local place, and I'll go later on tonight and find out how much credit I'm getting.
Ooh,
I'm very
Get Ken a present.
I should. Ken, what kind of record albums you into?
I'm looking for. There's one in particular, but you don't get me that.
Oh no, just tell me what it is. I'll see if they have it.
Okay. I need one more. To complete my Steve Perry collection of Journey albums, I need Departure.
Departure.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll check into that. When I first got
a
here,
Journey album from you.
Yeah, I was giving away Journey albums just as I was trying to get the morning show to like me. That was when you were still on the morning show. And I figured I needed all the help I could get to make friends, and so I was handing out Journey albums.
Well, and when people asked me, I said, yeah, Brother Murphy gave that to me.
Oh, so see, I got credit right there. There you go. I don't think we need credit of a different sort. Missouri GOP Senator Josh Hawley has introduced a bill that, if passed, would deliver a $600 per adult and dependent child tariff rebate check to qualifying Americans. The American Worker Rebate Act of 2025, according to Hawley, would provide Americans with $600 each, or a total of $2,400 for a family of 4. Hawley stated in a press release, Americans deserve a tax rebate after 4 years of Biden policies that have devastated family savings and livelihoods. Like President Trump proposed, my legislation would allow hardworking Americans to benefit from the wealth that Trump tariffs are returning to this country. Hawley's proposal follows after President Trump floated the idea Friday, stating that his administration was pondering a little rebate, end quote. It is a bad idea. It's a bad idea. It's a bad idea. And I don't believe that we need to engage in this idea. Here's why I would tell you that it's a bad idea.
Yes, sir.
Why not spend less money at the federal level and tax us less? How about you stop overspending? How about we are $37 trillion in debt as a nation? And I would love a little freebie rebate that gets everybody excited. You know what? I mean, what we need to do is change the way we look at the federal government. We need to change the way we look at government, generally speaking. We need to send less of our money to the federal government in the form of taxation, and that's going to benefit everyone from an economic standpoint. This idea of the government giving out free money, free money, free money, how about stop spending our money hand over fist on projects that do not benefit the American people? There are better ways to accomplish this long term. Why do some senators and some congresspeople feel like they have to bribe the American people? And if Donald Trump's a part of this, God bless him, I'll include him too. I hate it. Now, I got one, but I hated that stupid COVID rebate. I hated it because it was a bribe. It was an apology on the part of the federal government to the American people for shutting down broad swaths of the United States economy on the back of a lie. No, this is not the way to do this. Handing out, quote unquote, handing out freebies, rebates from the federal government. How about you don't bait to begin with and you don't have to give me a rebate? How about that? No, this is not the way to do this. It is fiscally irresponsible to suggest that we should be cutting checks back. And I understand why, in a knee-jerk fashion, people would be in favor of this. Well, I need to keep more of my money. We need to stop overspending. Our financial and fiscal irresponsibility is going to destroy this nation if we don't get it under control. And we're in the middle of the stream right now. We need to continue to insist that the federal government bring back to the states that which is not constitutionally mandated to be a part of the federal government. We need to continue to insist that we dismantle these ridiculously overexpensive federal programs that do not better the lives of the American people, for example, the Department of Education. We need to continue the process of balancing the budget. Now, when we get to a balanced budget, you want to talk to me about tax rebates? I'm all for it. But we haven't balanced the budget yet. This year's budget will not be balanced. Next year's budget will not be balanced. And until we get there, I don't think we need to be talking about rebates. 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986, either via super text or on the telephones. I understand. Oh, give me some. And look, if somebody sent me a check, I suppose if somebody sent me a check, I just signed it over to Jackson. That's what I would do.
Okay.
You're in favor of that, Jackson?
Free money.
Would I get credit for that?
Yeah, I'd give you credit.
Thank you.
Matt Murphy gave me. I bought this with the check Matt Murphy gave me.
Yes, and that's sweet. What would you buy with that $600?
I have no idea.
I mean, put it in the bank. Let it,
Yeah, invest.
Let it matriculate.
Maybe invest in the Boring Company. Maybe get a free Tesla ride.
You never know. I mean, this might be the start of something big with the Boring Company. I guess they've already started it.
I want to ride in the tunnel.
All right. Well, you and I, and if Ken Weaver wants a part of it, we'll be right there in front.
I'm kind of scared of them tunnels, boys.
Ken, you're getting in the tunnel.
Ken, shut up and get in the tunnel.
I mean, I'll do it, but I'm claustrophobic.
You'll be fine.
Here's the breaking news. You're getting in this car, Ken Weaver.
Like I said earlier today, you might hear a coming out of either end of that thing if there's a traffic stop.
I don't believe that there's any trouble. I don't believe that there will be any trouble. I think we will be safe and sound. But have you seen some of the images that they have on the Boring Company's website for the Las Vegas Loop?
No.
Freaks me out a little bit. It's one lane.
It is very narrow.
It's one lane. It's narrow.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's not like this huge big old tunnel. It's a cylinder.
It's efficient.
It is certainly efficient, and it is. I think it's like 12 feet wide. I think it's like 12 feet wide. It'll fit a Tesla, probably fit a Cybertruck, and not much else.
Do you think there will be a Cybertruck option?
I certainly hope there will be.
I want to ride in the bed.
Yeah, okay. Ken Weaver and I in the back of the Cybertruck, and Jackson in the bed. And let's go.
How about if I just wait for you fellas?
Ken, you're getting in the Cybertruck.
Goodness.
There is no negotiating here.
I will jump out of a plane at anytime you ask me to. And I've done it in the past. I've gone skydiving. But boy, if you ask me to get in a submarine, I don't know about all that. They're just the more I live on this earth, the more claustrophobic I become.
Yeah.
I had to when I had to get my my MRI done for the shoulder, Ken.
Yes, sir.
I had already done a CT. Have you ever done an MRI, by the way, Ken Weaver?
I believe so. Is that where you hear a bunch of clicking sounds?
Yeah, pop, 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 pop,
yeah,
like a hammer.
Yeah, I've done that a couple of times.
Well, I think that. So I've only done 2 MRIs, and the first one that they put me in, there was no opening at the end of the tube. It was just you're in a tube, and I pressed the button. You know, they give you the little panic button,
Right.
and I got in there, and I thought, well, I'll be fine. It'll be 15 minutes of my life. I'll just keep my eyes closed. But I looked, and there was no opening, and I'm like, can't do it. Press the button. I'm out. That was probably 10 years ago. This one that I did for my shoulder, I did not specify, quote, open MRI. And these open MRIs, they have an opening at the end. And I don't know, for someone claustrophobic, I do not know what it is, what that opening does, but it is everything.
Yes.
Everything in terms of claustrophobia. Because you put me in that tube, and as you're putting me in that tube, it freaks me out because everything's so close in, and I can't get out of there. But then I look at that opening,
It's okay.
Everything's going to be fine.
Yeah.
Look, I could get out anytime I want.
Yeah.
Waco says Ken's like Mr. T on the A-team. In more ways than one.
Yeah.
He's got those muscles.
The beard. Boy.
He's shorter than you think. Likes gold chains. Doesn't have a mohawk.
No.
But I bet he could if he wanted one.
I could have one if I wanted one.
Yeah.
I just have to let, the middle part of my head grow out.
I like the idea of it. I know it's not a coffin 3581, but it certainly feels like. You ever had an MRI, Jackson?
Yes, I'm not a fan.
I mean, and Jackson, you're a big man.
Yeah.
Tight in there? It was tight on me.
I don't really remember. I was kind of out of it.
I just have to close my eyes and go to a distant place.
I took a gummy.
That's
and
a good call.
Napped.
That's a good call.
What kind of gummy,
Brother Ken?
Weaver?
Oh, you know what kind of gummy. Don't ask him what kind of gummy. When he says he took a gummy, you know what kind of gummy he took.
THC gummy.
Go ahead and rip that Band-Aid clean
just
off.
whatever, Jackson. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do, man. And those MRIs, they're a little freaky deaky. So yeah, jumping out of a plane is fine. A narrow tunnel, but I'll do it. I'll do it for the betterment of this community.
Well, I'll do it with you fellas. But I guarantee I'd take a gummy before we do.
4018 said, "Get in the damn hole, Ken." Just get in the hole and quit. Be quiet about it.
It's mind over matter.
I don't mind because you don't matter.
How many people are going to chicken out the first day of the tunnel?
No, I mean,
I hope it's like a water park where you have to walk past everybody in line.
Look, most of those people that are coming off the airplane, they go through the airport, they've had themselves a couple of drinks, they probably had a little puffy. You know what I'm talking about? They'll pour their butts into those Teslas and off they go, and they'll light them up all fancy. It'll be nice and green and blue. I bet it'll be just like Arnold Schwarzenegger going through that tube in The Running Man. Y'all remember that? You ever seen The Running Man when they shot him through the tube into the zone?
Oh.
That's what I envision the tunnel is. All those lights going by. It's going to be fun. Paint it green or red or something like that. You could advertise on the walls of the tunnel. Deja vu, deja vu, deja vu, deja vu. What?
There's just so many local businesses that you could have chose.
That's just the first
That's
one.
where we landed.
First one that came to mind.
Oh, of course it is.
I'm not, 6648 said, I'm not claustrophobic at all, but I almost panic getting a brand. Look, I'm fine on an escalator, or rather an elevator. I'm fine in a box, but when I don't feel like I can get out if I want to get out, that's the problem.
Exactly.
Well, don't you get that feeling in an elevator?
Not really. I mean, but there's not enough time to worry about it, I guess. You know what I mean?
Well, and they've got a button where you can call the fire department.
They'll claw you right out of there.
Maybe the Teslas will have a button to call the fire department.
I imagine they'll have some sort of fail-safe in that system.
Well, they say that they do have that sort of thing in the tunnels, like out there in Las Vegas. They've got
like a little
they've got stuff for situations.
Yeah,
like
I mean, they're going to have little safety zones.
They've got to.
Yeah. Like if a Tesla breaks down, vehicles break down. If a Tesla breaks down, they got to have some place for it to go. Obviously, they're going to have a little safety zone.
Right.
I wonder how many Teslas they're going to go through in a year. Because you got to think the miles on that thing.
I don't know, 8 miles at a pop. Those things run forever, don't they? Now, some questions about the legit electricity drain. That number of electric vehicles, that is going to create a little bit more of a drain on the grid, which we have to consider. 0307, have you ever been stuck on an elevator? I have not.
I have for a short period of time.
All right. Did you start figuring out who you're going to eat?
No, fortunately, before I started tripping out, it actually started up again.
That's good. That's good. Anytime I get on an airplane, this is a dirty, dark secret from Matt Murphy to you. Let's just go ahead and throw this out there.
Let's do it.
Every time I get on an airplane, I do two things. One, in the back of the seat, they tell you what type of airplane it is, like CRJ 900 or whatever. And I immediately go to my phone and I look up the crashes of that plane. I don't know why. But I do. It makes me feel better. And then as the plane is taking off, I look around me and I figure out if the worst case scenario happens and we crash, I got to figure out who I'm going to eat. Look, I might die from the crash. I'm not going to die from starvation.
You're not going to die hungry.
No, absolutely not.
That'd be a terrible way to die.
What, from starvation after the crash? Not letting that happen. Oh.
Do you always bring a volleyball with you to draw a face on it?
I mean, you got to do what you got to do. No, but that's not a bad idea.
Have a friend.
It's time to go before we get into too much trouble. We've got a good friend of the show, Senator Jack Johnson, stopping by to talk about the tunnel a little bit. We'll also talk about the sad shooting in New York City and the reasoning behind it. Look, we try to make sense of the senseless oftentimes in the aftermath of things like this, and it's next to impossible to do it. I'll give you the details. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I love a lot of things about Grace Point Healthcare. One, they are a military veteran-owned practice. I don't mention that enough, but I love that about the folks at Grace Point. I also love that they are a direct pay primary care physician's practice, meaning that you pay Grace Point, and you can ask or file with your for reimbursement with your insurance company after the fact. But the reason they do it this way, because they want to make sure that you understand exactly what you're paying for, and that you will never have any insurance company getting between you and your doctor, you and your physician. It should not be that way. Patients are treated naturally whenever possible, and I love the fact that now, thanks to the BBL, the Big Beautiful Law, you can use your HSA account, your health savings account, for your basic smart care plan. $69 a month that I tell you about all the time, you can pay out of your HSA. That's a great benefit to the Big Beautiful Law. Ask them more about that when you stop by Grace Point, or give them a call, 599-6868, 599-6868. Schedule an appointment today, same day or next day service, most often at Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. Hello, friends. Genesis Diamonds, it's not just in the name, that diamonds word, it's in their blood. It's in their DNA. They dream about diamonds. They obsess about diamonds. Diamonds are their life. They go to the ends of the earth to find the best diamonds available for you. And they might look at 100 at the cutters just to pick a few to bring back to their showroom. And when you see the incredible diamonds at the showroom, you'll understand the Genesis difference. Ovals, rounds, princess cuts, emerald cuts, heart-shaped diamonds, pear-shaped diamonds, cushion cuts, I should say. From a half a carat to 20 carats, you heard me correctly. To properly showcase these exquisite diamonds, Genesis has designer settings that nobody else can match. It is a no-brainer because at Genesis, you get the best selection around, the best quality around, and the best value around because they cut out the middleman and they bring them straight to you right here in Nashville, Tennessee. 2 locations to serve you, Green Hills and Cool Springs. Be sure to tell them that I sent you to Genesis Diamonds. No compromises. You can't have it all at the one and only Genesis Diamonds.
Five o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everyone in Middle Tennessee under a extreme heat warning today for how high the heat index was supposed to get, but we haven't seen it. In fact, it's been going down since earlier today. Right now, the National Weather Service has the heat index at 101 in Nashville. Real temperature is 95. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Here in Nashville, Channel 4's Stacey Cameron's covering the next steps for the Music City Loop tunnel system connecting downtown with BNA.
But Mayor Freddie O'Connell told us in a statement yesterday that they know about the state's conversations with the boring company and that they'll have a number of operational questions to try and understand the potential impacts on the city. He said today he plans to release those questions to the public soon, but we don't know exactly when.
Now, tomorrow, the boring company is holding a hiring event from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. They're going to take applications for engineers, operations coordinators, electricians, welders, and mechanics to help build it. And then on Thursday, the Tennessee State Building Commission holds a special meeting to discuss the boring company leasing a portion of state-owned parking near the state capitol, where they'll manage construction activities related to the tunnel project. FDA officials say they're starting the process to deem 7-0 as an illicit drug. 7-0 is a byproduct of kratom that the FDA says is more potent and is opioid-like. Officials say there's not much known about it, but that it's being marketed to children and could lead to dependence or addiction. FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty Makary explains.
Scientifically, by definition, it is an opioid, and yet it is sold in vape stores, in smoke shops, in convenience stores, and gas stations that are popping up all over the United States, and nobody knows what it is.
Now, in Tennessee, kratom products containing synthetic 7-0 or exceeding a certain potency of naturally occurring 7-0 are illegal. New reasons to doubt that Ghislaine Maxwell will answer the questions set to be posed to her by the House Oversight Committee, which subpoenaed her testimony earlier this month. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
Ghislaine Maxwell's attorneys have told the House Oversight Chair that their client may plead the Fifth at her deposition unless certain conditions are met. Those conditions include a grant of immunity for her testimony, a list of questions in advance, and a rescheduling of the deposition until after the Supreme Court decides her appeal. The committee has already responded, saying it won't grant Maxwell immunity, but her attorneys do lay out one more path to fulsome and even public testimony, a grant of clemency from President Trump.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got an injury crash 40 eastbound near Church Street. Then on the South Loop, police say there's a crash 65 northbound there at the South Loop. Woodbine, a crash, left shoulder block, 24 eastbound at I-440. Berry Hill, 65 southbound at Armory Drive. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN, halfway home. My name is Matt Murphy. This is the Matt Murphy Radio Show, and I appreciate you being a part of it. 5:07, if you're just getting off work, never you fear. It's only 103 degrees in Diana, Tennessee, according to Derek. 91 in the barn, according to 3376. Someone must have said something about how hot it is outside. I have a difficult time believing that it's actually 103 degrees outside. Maybe that is the as they say in the newsroom, the heat index.
The real feels.
Yeah. Just why are you doing that to me? You just want me to be? Have you met Jackson, by the way, Jack? Jackson, turn on Jackson. Jack Johnson.
Hey, Jackson, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you, sir.
I'm a Jack Johnson, so I get Jackson, Jack Jackson, John Jackson all the time. So it's a similar name.
He's a Jackson Williams. So I bet. Do you ever get William Jackson?
Not really, because Williams is such a common last name.
Yeah, I guess so. Well, my name's Matt Murphy, and I'm glad to have you with us, Jack Johnson.
Well, thanks, Matt. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you here. The gang's all here. We're here talking about travel and tunnels and all of that. And look, as curmudgeonly as I get accused of being on occasion, I cannot help but be excited about the aspects of this project that we've learned about. There are a lot of questions remaining about exactly how it all is going to come to fruition, but let me tell you, when this story hit publicly a couple 3 months ago, there were a couple of stories floated out there as, "Ooh, is this
the rumors
possible?"
were flying
the
around,
rumors were going, and everybody went, "Yeah, that's cute." And then now here we are a few months later, and
big announcement yesterday,
and they're hiring, right? I mean, breaking ground and whatnot. Just give us your thoughts from 50,000 feet on this.
Well, I'm elated. I'm elated because, as you've said, I've been listening to your show, talking about it for the last few days, and some others, and some of the other comments. And probably the best thing for me to say is ditto. This is innovative. It's utilizing the private sector, which I think government should do more of. Government, is not going to be the solution to many problems. We should turn to the private sector and innovation and technology to try to look to solve some of these problems. And look, Elon Musk, regardless of how you feel about him, he is the Andrew Carnegie of our day. He is the Norman Rockefeller. Yeah, not Norman Rockefeller. J.D.
Rockefeller.
Yeah, John D. Rockefeller. Yeah. He is one of those titans of business right now. And one of the things I like about him, I bet if you work for Elon Musk, words you should never utter are, "That can't be done."
Yeah, we can't do that.
We can't do that.
I bet he doesn't care for that.
I bet that's a very quick way.
You commented, and I noticed this too. I don't want to steal your thunder, but like you go to the Boring Company's website, and the first thing that they tell you is, listen, if you want to disrupt the norm, if you want to break the cycle of traffic congestion, there are only a few ways to do that. You either really go up or down.
You go up or down. Yeah, I love it. If your listeners could go to solve the problem of soul-destroying traffic, which I think we can all agree that traffic can be soul-destroying, roads must go 3D, which means either flying cars or tunnels are needed. Unlike flying cars, tunnels are weatherproof, out of sight, and won't fall on your head.
Won't fall on your head. Well, we certainly hope that they won't fall on your head.
I hope not.
So a lot of questions exist regarding some of the opposition to this. And I just feel like most of the opposition is political in nature. It's knee-jerk and it's political in nature. Let me give you an example. One of your colleagues in the General Assembly, he's in the other body, Democrat Caucus Chairman John Ray Clemens, Democrat from Nashville, issued the following statement, and it is described as a warning about the project. What Tennesseans witnessed today, that would be yesterday, was the result of a smart businessman identifying an easy target in starry-eyed Bill Lee. No responsible executive would give away unrestricted and unlimited underground property rights to an unhinged billionaire. So this is a fascinating way of looking at that. So does the state, I mean, I get you're not doing anything with that property. We don't have the technology to do anything with that property. If this were to alleviate some of the traffic congestion and benefit the tourism community, and by extension benefit the overall community, we keep tourism healthy, we benefit some of the travelers of I-40, and possibly, if it goes well, benefit 24 and 65 and some of these other. I don't understand why someone would have this attitude of, oh, we're giving it away.
Well, we're not going to give it away. And look, it's an underutilized asset is the way I would like. If you're running a company and you've got an asset, but it's a non-performing asset, you're smart as a CEO of a company to figure out a way to monetize that or to make productive use of that otherwise underutilized or non-utilized asset. We own roadways. We own the ground underneath the roadways. We own the air rights above the roadways, all kinds of things that you can do. And so this is an opportunity because Elon Musk and his company, the boring company, has come up with this technology. They've developed a new boring machine that they say, and I'm sure it varies based on the geology of what they're digging through, but can dig out a mile a week. A mile a week.
That's hard to believe. I mean,
another funny thing they say on the website, Matt, is that they haven't quite caught a garden snail, but they're getting close in terms of the speed at which they. Right. So you can bore through a mile in a week and create capacity for traffic. Why wouldn't you do that? And sure, there's got to be some checks and balances, and we'll have conversations about that, I'm sure, in the General Assembly when we get back. But look. When I think of my friends on the other side of the aisle and the Democrat, these are the same people that supported I think it was a $5.8 billion, don't hold me to that number, but mass transit plan that Megan Barry introduced when she was mayor, which, by the way, included an underground tunnel under downtown Nashville back years ago. It didn't go anywhere. It failed miserably, but it was. And that was taxpayer dollars. They were going to use taxpayer dollars to build rail above ground, an elevated rail system and tunnels underground and more buses and this convoluted thing that was all going to have to be paid for by the government, and also run by the government. Here we have a private company that'll come in no cost to taxpayers and create this capacity to take cars off the road. I think it's brilliant, and I could not be more excited. And by the way, I'm going to be in Las Vegas in the very near future, and I'm going to use the loop. I'm going to take the loop. I'm going to check it out, and I'll give you a first-hand report.
Please, well, yeah.
If they have cell service, I'll call you from the loop.
Oh, that'd be great.
I'll try to time it during your show, and I will call you from the loop.
We're going to hold you to that, or call us, but you could take a video.
Yes.
Of the experience. Because Ken Weaver and I are a little bit nervous about the tight fit quarters.
I heard that. Yeah, I've had an MRI before. I understand.
But you know what? But for 8 minutes from B&A to downtown,
you could do it.
I think you could easily overcome that. Well, the questions have been, and I understand some of the questions. What's the benefit for Middle Tennessee? I mean, obviously, any amount of traffic that we take off the roadways, we see thousands of tourists, thousands of travelers come into B&A on a daily basis. All of them are trying to get, for the most part, downtown. Maybe not, obviously not all of them. Some of them are going over to Franklin or to Murfreesboro, wherever, but most of them are going downtown.
Yep.
They're utilizing really, taxis or Uber or Lyft.
Yeah. And they're out there on I-40.
Right.
They're out there on I-40 from the airport headed to usually downtown. Like you say, you think of all the hotels down there, the convention center, the Capitol, city office buildings. You just think about the amount of traffic that's right there and just in that one corridor. And getting 1,800 vehicles an hour. I'm not sure there are that many now, but that's the ultimate capacity of this tunnel, so we're told. But you get 500 cars or 300 cars an hour off of I-40. Just think what that's going to do to help alleviate traffic. And here's another thing. Think about all the people that work downtown. And as a result of them working down there, they have parking usually downtown.
Mm-hmm.
I have a parking spot at the Capitol as a member of the General Assembly. All members do. I could see me going to my parking spot, parking at the Capitol, and getting in one of these Tesla things and taking me to the airport. And I don't have to pay for parking.
I didn't think of it that way, but that makes sense.
That's how a lot of people are going to be able to utilize that are here.
If you live around the city center in a condominium or whatever, or if you work down here and you have available parking, you don't have to pay to park at the airport anymore. You just pay for a trip out to the airport and you're done.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't even consider it that way. So what comes in terms of the oversight questions? I'm certain that you've had conversations with the governor's office, conversations with the Tennessee Department of Transportation. I mean, you know, some people are saying, well, what about the rock, the limestone?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm told that that's not a problem for
I'm
board.
told that it's actually better because the issue, it might be a little bit more difficult to dig through, but if you're in a real sandy or loam or whatever, you know, with dirt, that the problem is structurally preserving that.
Right.
Because it'll cave in. And obviously they're putting tunnels in there to hold all that out. When you're going through the limestone, it's much more sturdy. It's much more stable. It might be a little tougher to dig through, but once it's done, it's more structurally sound.
For me, and I know that this is a concept that's a little more difficult to grasp because people just want to know what's the benefit to me, what's the benefit. For the tax-paying citizen, I mean, it costs money to run government. Mm-hmm. And I know that you guys try to be as lean as possible in the General Assembly. But part of the reason that our overall tax burden remains low individually is because of the amount of tourism that we're blessed to have.
Yep.
And some of that is topography, the Great Smoky Mountains. I mean, you know, across the state of Tennessee, there are a lot of different reasons that people like to come to this state. But we also have to keep up I call it keeping up the front porch. We have to kind of keep up that front porch. This is an aspect of that keeps us almost not just keeping up. We're on the cutting edge of tourism with regard to transporting tourists around our community, which is going to ultimately keep our tax burden low.
People are going to know. There will be people who will come just to see the tunnel.
It becomes a destination in and of itself.
It will. And then when people find out, wow, okay, so I can fly into Nashville. We have one of the best run airports in America, and Doug Crulin does a great job running that and his team. So I can fly into Nashville. It's a great airport. I can walk right outside, get in one of these. In 8 minutes, I'm at Tootsie's or Roberts or somewhere on Lower Broadway listening to a great band. Or I'm going to some conference at the convention center or whatever the case might be. Absolutely it would. And at no cost to taxpayers.
And that's the biggest aspect of this is that it's a private tunnel. Yes, it's a private tunnel because it's not costing the taxpayer any money. So the question becomes, well, who keeps it up? Well, the boring company keeps it up.
Sure they do.
Or whatever subsidiary that they utilize to do these types of things. But there's obviously going to always be a certain level of state oversight.
Yeah.
Is it fair to compare it? You and I briefly mentioned this before you came on there. Is it fair to compare it to choice lanes?
Yeah, absolutely it is. In fact, there are a lot of similarities to our choice lane program, which is underway and hopefully making progress. And let me stop as we get into choice lanes. This boring thing is not going to be the solution to all of our traffic problems. It's not, but it is an element, and we need to think innovatively. We need to think outside the box. That's what we did with the choice lane program. Now, Florida, Georgia, Texas have all utilized choice lanes, so we can kind of look at some success there. With the boring tunnel, we can look at Las Vegas. That's been tremendously successful. Very excited that Nashville is going to be their next destination. So we have to think about all these different things and different ways to solve our traffic problems. But again, it goes back, you're leveraging an asset that you have. You're doing a public-private partnership with a private sector company that's really good at what they do, and there's no reason that the government shouldn't be able to partner with them with a fair degree of oversight. And in terms of the permitting and environmental stuff, all those boxes are going to have to be checked. I mean, we're not just going to, start digging. I mean, there will be a regulatory process that they'll have to go through.
If the initial reaction by our liberal friends is any indication, do you feel that there's a way for state officials, people like you, Cameron in the House, the governor, to bring these folks on board? I mean, it's my understanding, and I have two different sources, and I trust these folks, that indicated to me that the Boring Company did not leave the mayor's office out.
No.
That
I'm told the same thing.
They opened the door to the mayor's office, and they wanted the city of Nashville a part of this conversation, and the city of Nashville was the entity that shut the door. I think the best way moving forward is try to get that door back open.
Absolutely. We should have a good collaborative working relationship. But I can tell you from the state perspective, if your attitude is we don't care how effective it is, we don't care how much traffic it's going to alleviate, we don't care how much it's going to help our tourism, we don't care about all these positive things, we're going to be opposed because it's Elon Musk. Well, first of all, that's not going to fly with voters, I don't think.
I would agree.
Think that's going to fly with our constituents. And it's not going to fly with the General Assembly as well. And we've had numerous conversations about tensions between Nashville and the Tennessee General Assembly. It's better for all of us when we can all sit down and work together. If they have questions or thoughts, the mayor issued the statement. He has concerns about operational impacts. Okay, all right, that's fine. We should be able to sit down and talk about those things and get those questions answered. But I've not seen anything yet that makes me say we should not pursue this with with the proper amount of due diligence and oversight, because this is a huge win for Nashville and for Tennessee.
Here's who I saw excited yesterday, and I know you were out of town, otherwise you would have been there. Here's who was excited: Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce, the Music City Center, the Greater Nashville Hospitality Association. Just about every organization that has anything to do with tourism in this state or in this city, they seem very excited about the possibilities of what this could bring to the city. And by extension, it can benefit the citizens of the city. So let's stop there. Well, pause briefly. We'll come back. We'll ask Jack what he knows about the technicalities of this, where we are, and when we can find out more about, like, literally, where is this tunnel going to start? Where is it going to end? 23 after the hour. Senator Jack Johnson with us on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Dr. Brian McLaughlin is in Murfreesboro and Brentwood multiple times each week, servicing you and thanking you for you calling in and being a part of the Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center. And I want to encourage you, if you lose sleep at night, if you find yourself waking up throughout the course of the night, if you know that this is because of sleep apnea, please give Brian McLaughlin and the Tennessee Sleep Apnea and TMJ Solution Center a call. I did. I wasn't aware that I had sleep apnea. And Dr. Paz, God bless him, he said, Murphy, you need to get checked. Some of the things that you're describing to me make me believe that you do. And I'm one of the 20% of males that does not snore considerably but did have sleep apnea. Now I have an FDA-approved oral device that is printed, 3D printed specifically for my mouth. That I put in on a nightly basis. I sleep better, my airway stays open, and I breathe throughout the course of the evening. It is a health benefit. It is a partner benefit because you're not snoring at night. It's just beneficial all the way around. Go to TennesseeSleep.com for more information. That's TennesseeSleep.com for more information. Call Dr. Brian McLaughlin. You'll be happy you did.
We're covering the next steps in the Music City Loop Tunnel project to connect downtown with the airport, and the FDA sounding the alarm about a product in stores, gas stations, vape, and smoke shops in some states. Tell you about it at 5:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Dadgum conservatives coming after our gummies. That's what they're doing.
I don't think this is gummies.
No. Something a little bit different. We'll all listen together on Super Talk 99.7 WTN in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, you're not going to ruin my tease here, Brother Murphy.
I know. I wouldn't do that to you. I would not do that to you. I do have some questions for our guest, Senator Jack Johnson, who's in studio with us for at least the next couple of minutes. I didn't ask you if you could stick around for a little while, but I'm just excited to talk what I think is such a positive for our community. I don't want to be a Pollyanna on this. I'm trying to figure out ways that this could fail. I mean, I suppose that we could run into, technical or structural impediments in terms of the actual digging, but it feels like we've overcome most of the political impediments with regard to the entities that have gotten on board and say, look, we've done that. I mean, I feel like smarter people than me, let me ask the question this way, engineers and whatever, have done their due diligence through the state and have said, you know what, we believe that this is going to be a huge success for the state of Tennessee and technically feasible.
Well, yes, on the state side, in terms of people at the state who have looked at this, but also the private sector. Elon Musk is one of his companies, the Boring Company, and one of the things about Elon, he hires the smartest, most brilliant engineers, people, whatever, and he lays out the vision, and they go figure out a way to make it happen. They wouldn't be prepared to come into Nashville. And that's why I'm so excited about this, and I don't understand some of the reticence on the part of some other people, is they chose Nashville. They chose Tennessee. They could have gone to any number of other cities that have traffic issues. They chose us, and we should celebrate that. And again, with appropriate due diligence and oversight, celebrate the fact that they're prepared to come in and spend tens and tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars helping us solve a problem. And that's something to be celebrated.
Can you stick around for a few more minutes?
Sure.
All right, we've got the news now. In a moment, I will ask Jack the direct question, do we know or does it remain to be seen? If it starts at the airport, where does it end? And downtown's a big place. So maybe there are multiple answers to that question. We'll find out together on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
.5:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Nashville, Channel 4's Stacey Cameron's covering the next steps in the Music City Loop Tunnel project to connect downtown with the airport.
Now, despite the size of this project, because it's privately funded and won't use state or federal money, it doesn't have to go through the typical vetting process of public transit systems. So in the meantime, we'll keep asking what's next and what the process is going to look like and if the city becomes involved.
Well, tomorrow, the Boring Company is holding a hiring event from 6 to 8. They're taking applications for engineers, operations coordinators, electricians, welders, and mechanics. Then on Thursday, the Tennessee State Building Commission is holding a special meeting to discuss the Boring Company leasing a portion of a state-owned parking lot near the state capitol to manage construction activities related to the tunnel project. FDA officials say they're beginning the process to deem 7-0 as an illicit drug. 7-0 is a byproduct of kratom that the FDA says is more potent and is opioid-like. Officials say there's not much known about it, but that it's being marketed to children and could lead to a dependence or addiction. Deputy Health and Human Services Secretary Jim O'Neill says it's being sold in places like vape stores and gas stations.
This is a recipe for public health disaster. Young people, veterans, and people who suffer from chronic pain or addiction are being misled into thinking that these are safe alternatives. They're not.
Now, in Tennessee, kratom products containing synthetic 7-0 or exceeding a certain potency of naturally occurring 7-0 are illegal. And the prices you pay at the grocery store might go up right before your eyes. ABC's Rhiannon Alley says more supermarkets using digital ads, meaning the price you pay for a particular grocery item can change several times per day.
They're being used more and more across the U.S. Walmart has installed digital tags in more than 400 locations, with plans to reach 2,300 stores by next year. Kroger and Whole Foods are expanding pilot programs as well.
Kroger insists the labels will not be used for surge pricing. Companies say the tags help cut back on time-consuming labor. Walmart says it used to take 2 full days to update prices across the store, but with digital tags, just minutes. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. All right, in Woodbine, we've got a crash on the left shoulder, 24 eastbound at 440. That's causing quite a backup there if you're eastbound 440 to go east on 24, as you might expect. Looking at the eastbound East Loop downtown, it is stop and go. And then look over here in South Side on the South Loop downtown, 40 eastbound at Fessler's Lane. Got a crash there. The left 2 lanes are blocked there, 40 eastbound at Fessler's Lane. That's actually beyond the South Loop. We've got 40 eastbound near Church Street, an injury crash reported by police. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I'm a free market guy, right? I'm a capitalist at heart, and I love telling stories about young capitalists that believe in themselves, that have a vision, that have an idea, and grow their company from something small to something incredible. And that's what Aaron Stokes did with Eurofix. Aaron Stokes started as a small backyard shop in the backyard of a single-wide trailer in a barn. And that was 25 years ago. And now he has 5 separate locations. The newest location's in Mount Juliet, right across the street from Dairy Queen. So you can go get a free 15-minute no-wrench inspection on your European automobile. Go across the street, get yourself a dipped cone or a burger or whatever, and then come back and find out what's going on with your vehicle. And Aaron Stokes is going to tell you the truth the first time and every time. For almost 26 years now, they've been doing it the right way. You get a free loaner car with every visit. You get a 3-year nationwide warranty. Call 844-EUROFIX for more questions or information, or find out where they can best serve you. 5 separate locations in 100 Oaks, Murfreesboro, Franklin, Belmead, and now Mount Juliet. 844-EUROFIX or visit myEuroFix.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. We continue. I understand that some of you feel like we've talked it to death. I know that we've got other stories to get to. We got to a few of them earlier in the show. We will continue to discuss the national news that's of import to you. But let me tell you, tell me if I'm wrong. Senator Jack Johnson is joining us in studio. We had Cameron Sexton on yesterday. We had John Rose on earlier today, who is in the 6th Congressional District, which obviously B&A is a part of the 6th Congressional District. I've been here since 2021, and the East Bank development is an exciting thing. It's also costing the taxpayers a lot of money. For me, this is far more exciting in what it could mean for the city and the metro region, and the fact that it cost us no money.
Yeah.
And the possibilities are limitless, because one feels like if you create that initial line from B&A to downtown, then you've kind of already created an infrastructure and a dynamic by which you can do more things. You can go to Gaylord Opryland Hotel. You can go to other places in and around the city. You can provide an opportunity for people to commute in a way that doesn't involve their automobiles. And that's just a very exciting thing to talk about, and not have the stigma associated to it that a subway system or a mass transit has.
You know, I have constituents sometimes that will bring up, we need light rail. We need to get light rail from Murfreesboro to Nashville, or Franklin to Nashville, or wherever in Middle Tennessee. Well, I mean, you're talking billions and billions of dollars to do that. And inevitably, you have to either go underground, or you have to somehow figure out, and usually you end up taking capacity away from the roads. You have to take away the ability of people to drive in order to come up with this mass transit system.
100%.
This doesn't do that. This utilizes, again, property that the state already owns underneath state-owned roadways that's not performing now. It's not doing anything right now, and yet it could be utilized and provide additional capacity to get cars off the road. So,
let's say that we don't get any further, and I hope that we do. I hope the Metro Nashville folks, the mayor's office and whatnot, see the benefit of all of this. But let's say they don't want any part of it. What does that mean for where we terminate? If we start at the airport, what are the possibilities in terms of where we go?
So some of this to be determined, but in some of the conversations I've had, and I'm not a lawyer and don't understand necessarily all the legal intricacies, but you could go under a state-owned roadway. Let's just accept that you can do that, and you can come out, say, that in fact, even in the governor's press release, it said that the proposal they're considering now, subject to change, but would come out somewhere around the convention center. Well, they could partner with a private business down there, a hotel, or some other private sector entity who owns the surface rights there, and be able to come up with something. If Nashville is just going to say you're not going to do it anywhere on any of our property, I think it could still be done. And I'm confident that that's been contemplated before they would make this big announcement. So, but the state has assets. We have property in and around the Capitol, where there's parking lots that the state owns. There's ample property downtown in that area that the state could utilize.
Is it a fair comparison to compare it to if you go to Washington and you ride the metro, Washington, D.C., or you go to New York and ride the subway system, that these stations would be similar in nature to like a subway, where you would have, the terminal would be underground, and you would bring people above ground through elevators or escalators.
Or an escalator or something like that. Yeah, if you've looked at some of the pictures, which I've looked at a few, but yeah, you have this tunnel, but then you have places where the cars can pull off,
right,
get out of, so that others can continue to go by. And so, yeah, they could pull over, and presumably you're under some destination, and like you said, you get out and go up some stairs or an escalator or something and come out on top.
And the idea being that this, because of the speed in which the Boring Company has gotten to, that we could see some of this coming to fruition as early as the end of next year or early 2027.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, is fall of 26 potentially.
It's a heck of a selling point to sit down in the governor's office, and or the Senate Majority Leader's office, or the Speaker of the House, or whatever public official, or to sit in the office of a CEO and say, look, we're going to have this done before that stadium's done. We're going to have this done. Governor Lee, we know that there's an election in fall of 2026, and you're leaving office in January 2027. We want you riding on the first leg of this tunnel before you're no longer governor.
Yeah, I want you to be there at the ribbon cutting whenever this happens. That's a huge selling point.
That seems almost impossible to contemplate.
And to put it into perspective, because we have lots of conversations about roads and traffic and road improvements, and we've talked about that, and there are a number of roads that are on the books. And when we're talking about widening a state route through a particular community or providing extra capacity or an interstate interchange or things to try to make traffic, you're talking years down for the right-of-way acquisition and engineering and you got utilities that have to be moved. This technology doesn't deal with any of that. It's below all the utilities. They say the utilities are within the usually 10 feet, and they're putting this tunnel 30 feet underground. So they don't have to worry about right-of-way acquisition. You don't have to go and buy property in order to expand that roadway. The state already has it and has the rights to it. It's under an existing roadway. So no right-of-way acquisition. There will be some environmental, there'll have to be some studies and find out, different things like that. But that can be done concurrently with them as they start to dig these tunnels. The fact that this could be done, just say within the next 18 months, that you would be able to get in a Tesla at the airport and be downtown in 8 minutes, and that could be done in the next 18 months. And not cost taxpayers a dime. Why would we not be enthusiastic about that?
Well, I certainly am. Just go do your homework, Jack, and make sure that there's not some sort of earthworm native to Tennessee that's endangered, for the love, so that we let one of these. I just feel like that is coming, right? Some of the ne'er-do-wells that just want to say no to every possible project like this, they're going to be, that's coming, and it's to be expected.
You do, but I would say about that is we're talking about 30 feet under an existing roadway that has been there for 100 years or however long. So, yeah, there might be groundwater issues or some other things that have to be contemplated, but not nearly the impediments that you have when you try to expand an existing roadway. So I'm thrilled about it. I'm excited. And like I said, I'll give you a full report whenever I try it out in Vegas.
Well, please do. It live if possible. We would love that. Love nothing more than that. I would love to have you stick around a little longer, but we got Ninkham Poops to get to. You're no Ninkham Poop,
Well,
Johnson.
Some would say so. Apparently there's some texters that think that I kind of am, but that's okay.
Haters are going to hate. That's what
Haters
they do,
hate,
right?
and that's what they do. But no, I don't want to get in the way of Ninkham Poops. In fact, I'm going to be listening as I'm driving back to Franklin.
One final thought. Anything the General Assembly needs to do to facilitate this project?
So I've asked about that, and actually at this point, nothing is jumping to the surface right now. We will obviously have those conversations with the governor's office. As you know, in my capacity as the Senate Majority Leader, I sponsor the governor's legislation. If there is some type of legislation we need to contemplate, we'll certainly do that and take a look at it. But I've asked that question, and according to the attorneys, the administration has the right to issue permits and allow for this. So we'll cross that bridge if we need to.
Senator Jack Johnson, thank you for your time today.
Thanks, Matt.
We appreciate you. We'll take a break first, and then we'll do Ninkham Poops next on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hey, friends, Matt Murphy. It's hot. Man, what would happen if your AC went out? I don't want to wish that on anybody, but if it happens, write this telephone number down. Efficient Heating and Cooling. Jeff Eddy has the team to get to you quickly and to fix what ails your AC promptly to get you back in the game and get you back cool again. Last thing you need is for the AC to go out. And like I say, I don't want this to happen, but it's going to. If it's going to happen, it's this time of year, right? Because that AC is constantly running, constantly trying to keep up with these hot conditions that are out of doors. Jeff Eddy's Efficient Heating and Cooling of Tennessee has the best value around on tune-ups. They have the best value around on repairs. They're never going to charge you overtime rates on weekends or evenings. They just don't believe in it, and they can fix what ails that AC. Plus, if it's time to replace, sad but true, these things come around, they're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem, and they can set you in the right direction in terms of what AC unit is right right for you. Go to efficienthvac.net to find out more. That's efficienthvac.net or call 615-784-4424 for Efficient.
We're covering the next steps for the Music City Loop Tunnel System and new reasons to doubt that Ghislaine Maxwell will answer the questions sent to be posed by the House Oversight Committee when it comes to the Epstein files. These stories and more coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, indeed. That's on the way in mere moments. It is 53 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Ladies and germs, it's a little bit late, but without further ado, go ahead and clack that button there, Jackson. It's time for Ninkham Poops and the news on Super Talk 99.7
Ninkham Poops in the news.
That's right. This is an opportunity for us to go around the great state of Tennessee, these United States of America, nay, the globe, and we find the nincompoops where they hide. We present them to you, and you get to vote on the nincompoop of the day. It's Ken Weaver, it's Jackson Williams, it's Matt Murphy, and this is Ninkham in the News. I confirmed yesterday, Jackson, that Weaver was the winner. And it was tight. It was tight as a bull's butt in fly time. That's how tight it was.
That's pretty tight.
That's pretty tight. But Weaver was winner, and therefore Weaver goes first. Mr. Ken.
All right, this comes out of my home state of Oklahoma, and I promise you, my mom and dad didn't have anything to do with it, or at least giving me the story. Man admits to shooting girlfriend's husband because he couldn't, quote, outfight him. An Oklahoma man turned himself into authorities, telling him he shot his girlfriend's husband. 21-year-old Micah Hill admitted to shooting his girlfriend's husband in a parking lot outside of a plasma center, where his wife was inside and the husband confronted him. Hill said he was scared, grabbed his girlfriend's gun from her purse, loaded it, got out of the car, and moments later the victim walked into the plasma donation center yelling for help and saying he had been shot. Witnesses frantically called police while the victim's wife helped apply pressure to his gunshot wound, so the wife was helping him.
Oh, that's nice.
Even though her boyfriend shot him.
Yeah.
Documents say Hill admitted the victim was not visibly armed at the time of the shooting, but he told police he was scared for his life, again saying, I can't outfight him. I couldn't do anything unless I shot him. Plasma donation centers cooperating with the investigation and expressed gratitude for the staff's quick response in helping the victim and contacting police. The nincompoop is this 21-year-old man messing around with another man's wife.
Yes.
What do you mean you can't outfight him?
Come on.
So you're going to shoot him?
That's no good. At the plasma center?
Well, that was the other part of it.
Have y'all ever given plasma?
No.
I think they pay good money.
They do pay money.
I think that's true.
I've given blood. I don't think I've ever given, I've never gotten paid for it.
I've given blood, but apparently plasma is like you have to do it's more of like a transfusion. I don't know what I'm talking about here, folks. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's more of a transfusion type where they have to circulate it into a machine, pull the platelets out,
yeah,
and then they put your blood back in. I think that's how it goes.
Yeah.
That's why they pay you money. Anyway.
Don't mess with another man's wife.
Don't mess with another man's wife, and don't shoot somebody at the plasma center. Jackson.
Because you can't outfight him.
No, you can't outfight him.
All right.
Let's go.
We're going to Florida for this one. Florida man arrested after beating up fellow golfer for playing too slowly. A golfer in Florida is accused of attacking a fellow player for playing too slow and now faces charges over the alleged assault. Jason Hughes was arrested Thursday and charged with aggravated battery causing bodily harm. The incident happened in June at a golf course in Kissimmee, Florida, according to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office. Hughes later told deputies that he was upset with the pace of the victim's play. The man said he and Hughes exchanged words on the course. The victim was playing with a friend in front of Hughes who told them more than once to hurry up. According to the report, many slower golfers will let these players playing faster move ahead of them at a hole.
Yeah, playing through. That's what it's called, playing through.
Hughes got angry when he saw the victim talking to his friend on the green of a hole, according to the report. That is when Hughes allegedly attacked the victim and started to punch the victim in the face. Witnesses broke up the fight, and Hughes and his partner fled the scenes before authorities arrived.
One man's nincompoop is another man's hero. I say he's a hero.
I say the other guy's a nincompoop. If you're socializing with your buddy on the the you're kind of asking for it.
And you've already been asked on a couple of occasions. Yeah, that guy's the nincompoop.
Yeah, you're asking for it.
The guy that administered the beating, he's a hero. That other fellow's the nincompoop. And by the way,
he got outfought.
Well, that's right. Jackson, during the daytime, this is my understanding. During the daytime, they call it Kissimmee. At night, it's called Kissimmee.
Kissimmee, baby.
See what it did there? You get it?
Yeah, it was a bad joke.
You get it? That's pretty good. During the day, it's Kissimmee. And at night, it's Kissimmee. My nincompoop is State Representative Afton Bain. I know there's a lot of ways that she can be a nincompoop, but this is even nincompoopery for her.
Okay.
She has, over the weekend, confirmed her commitment to potty parity for female lawmakers. According to the Associated Press, there was a journalist request for comment to the lawmaker, which prompted Bain to reconsider the bathroom arrangements at the Tennessee State Capitol, which she deems is biased in favor of men. The outlet noted the Capitol contains, quote, a female bathroom located between the Senate and House chambers, but that it is, quote, in a cramped hallway underneath a staircase and has only 2 stalls, despite a nearby men's room containing 3 stalls plus urinals. Bain, who's seeking the Democrat Party nomination to represent the 7th, that is, congressional district in the state of Tennessee, linked the issue to the number of women in politics at the state level in Tennessee. I've apparently accepted that waiting in line for a 2-stall closet under the Senate balcony is just a part of this job, Bain said. I had to fight to get elected to the legislature that ranks dead last for female representation, and now I get to squeeze into a space that feels like it was designed by someone who thinks that women don't exist. Or at least didn't have bladders. While the Associated Press reports that the potty parity issue exists in Capitol buildings throughout the country, Kentucky, Nebraska, Maryland, Colorado, and New Mexico have been named by the author, along with Tennessee, as the worst offenders.
For bathroom size?
For bathroom potty parity. There aren't enough women's rooms in the state capitol, Ken. And the female lawmakers say that they're being discriminated against. Well, to which I say, why don't y'all just go in the men's room? I mean, seriously. Just walk in there and go into a stall. Nobody's stopping you. And that's how we play Ninkham Poops in the news. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. You vote Ken. You vote Matt. Don't vote for Jackson. But that's just me talking. I'm not trying to tilt the scales one way or the other, but don't vote for Jackson.
You're not going to win, bud.
Afton Bain.
Brother Weaver's going to win.
I don't know, man.
Oh, don't help him.
Vote Weaver.
Oh, no. No. That's pathetic. You're telling people to vote against you?
I don't think mine was that good today. We'll watch the film.
Larry says Matt wins pants down. There we go, fellas. All right, we'll total up the votes. Here comes the news on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
6 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Everybody in Middle Tennessee under an extreme heat warning. I mean, they were talking about heat index values upwards around 110 degrees today, but we never got there. In fact, it's just kept going down. Right now, we're at a heat index of 101, according to the National Weather Service. Now, the real temperature stayed steady today, 95 degrees. That's where it's at right now. Full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Here in Nashville, Channel 4's Stacey Cameron covering the next steps for the Music City Loop tunnel system that will connect downtown with BNA.
But Mayor Freddie O'Connell told us in a statement yesterday that they know about the state's conversations with the boring company and that they'll have a number of operational questions to try and understand the potential impacts on the city. He said today he plans to release those questions to the public soon, but we don't know exactly when.
Well, Metro Councilwoman Courtney Johnston is out with a statement that reads in part, Mayor O'Connell has known about this project for over a year, but has chosen to sit on the sidelines. Despite all his talk about transportation and his Choose How You Move plan, it seems the mayor only supports options that come with a tax hike. Councilwoman Johnston goes on to say we should come together on ambitious solutions that offer more choices and less congestion, not look a gift horse in the mouth because of petty politics. There are new reasons to doubt that Ghislaine Maxwell will answer the questions set to be posed by the House Oversight Committee, which subpoenaed her earlier this month. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy has the latest.
The letter from Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney stresses that she's prepared to plead the Fifth if the deposition by the House Oversight Committee goes forward as scheduled August 11th. They note her appeal of her conviction is still pending before the Supreme Court. But the lawyers do offer paths to fulsome testimony from Maxwell, including a congressional grant of immunity or a presidential grant of clemency. An Oversight Committee spokesperson swiftly responded to the letter, ruling out immunity as an option.
Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said there was no widespread famine in Gaza, but President Trump says he doesn't agree. He told reporters on Air Force One today on the way back from Scotland he wants to set up more food centers that Israel could run.
I think Israel wants to do it, and they'll be good at doing it. If they do it, and if they really want to do it, and I think they do, they'll do a good job.
2 out of 3 famine thresholds have been reached in Gaza, with widespread food shortages and rapidly rising malnutrition, particularly among children. And a 17-year-old boy recovering from what are being called significant thermal burns from a geyser at Yellowstone National Park.
Yellowstone National Park rangers say the teenager was on a hike in the thermal area when his foot broke through the thin crust and he suffered burns to a lower extremity. He had significant thermal burns to his foot and ankle area. Emergency medical staff got him to a hospital. Yellowstone staff is saying it's a reminder for park visitors to only walk on boardwalks and on marked trails. The water in hot springs can cause severe or fatal burns, and the crust around hot springs can break. Alex Stone, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Goodlettsville got a disabled vehicle blocking the right lane. 65 northbound at Rivergate Parkway. Then in Woodbine, a new crash. 24 eastbound right there at I-440. That's really backing things up. Already got a problem if you're headed that way on 40 eastbound at Fessler's Lane where there's a crash. In Belmead, got a crash. Harding Pike at Woodmont Boulevard and White Bridge Pike. And then in Brentwood, now we've got a crash reported. Old Hickory Boulevard near I-65. Traffic every 10 minutes every morning on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Hello. It is hour number 4 of the Matt Murphy Radio Show. Would love to hear from you. 615-737-9986. WWTN, we appreciate your telephone calls. My name is Matt Murphy. We host a gathering from 3 until 7. It's a part of live and local conversation that starts early in the morning with Dan Mandis in Nashville's Morning News. And you know, if I do say so myself, we save the best for last. That would be Jackson, Weaver, and Murphy until we get to 7 o'clock, and then we hand off to Mark Levin on a national front. I feel almost guilty that I pulled the Afton Bain card and am winning as a result, but there it is. Matt Murphy got my vote. There are 17.4% women legislators in Tennessee. How many bathrooms do they need? Writes one voter. 1285 says Murphy wins. I'm a senior woman who has no problem using a men's room. Any port in a storm. So here's where it gets funny. Years ago, well, I'll tell you the story in a minute. I've got to get to a few other things to include your telephone calls. I was about to go to Mike, and Mike hung up. Mike, come on. Let's be a little patient. We're going to get to you, buddy. On the New York City shooting front, it is very odd as the details have begun to emerge as to what happened in Manhattan. But what we have learned, and I have failed to fill you in on details, but if you're just getting off work, joining us, the gunman who killed 4 people in a Midtown Manhattan office reportedly wanted to shoot up the NFL headquarters. That, according to Mayor Eric Adams. The shooter, 27 years of age, who I will not mention by name. I don't do that. I mean, occasionally when it's necessary, we do it, but I don't think, well, one way or the other. The shooter, 27 years of age, entered the building that houses NFL headquarters at 345 Park Avenue. He intended to attack the Football League offices. A former high school football player, the individual carried with him a 3-page note that in which he claimed he suffered from chronic traumatic encephalopathy. It's hard for me to say. Encephalopathy. There you go. Get it out, Murphy. Which is a trauma-induced head injury. And he expressed that the NFL was hiding the danger of contact sports for years. The shooter mistakenly went up the wrong elevator bank and ended up on the 33rd floor at the Rudin Management real estate firm instead of at the NFL headquarters. After shooting one individual on that floor, the individual shot himself after he opened fire. He killed 4 and injured a 5th person. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell obviously confirmed that the 5th surviving victim was an NFL, or he confirmed that they were looking for them. He confirmed that it was a NFL employee, told the league in a letter that the employee was, in fact, seriously injured. The shooter gained access to the elevator bank after he killed an off-duty New York City police officer who was working at the building's security desk. The officer Islam, 36, was a Bangladeshi immigrant and a father of 2 young sons with a 3rd baby on the way. It's just tragic all the way around for those who lost lives, but particularly for a father of 2 who had a young child still on the way. Put himself in harm's way and made himself, he made the ultimate sacrifice. There's no question about that. So that story's out there. Just wanted to fill you in with some of the details, tragic though it may be. In the meantime, a judge has ordered the federal government to continue funding Planned Parenthood for now. This is another in the long, long line of liberal district judges demanding that the Trump federal government operate in a manner consistent with how they want them to operate as opposed to operating within the law. U.S. District Judge Indira Talwani handed down a new preliminary injunction requiring the federal government to continue providing Medicaid funding to Planned Parenthood clinics nationwide, contradicting a recent law that prohibits such payments. The same judge previously issued an injunction barring the government from cutting Medicaid payments to certain Planned Parenthood facilities. Republicans in Congress, as a part of their reconciliation package signed into law earlier this month, enacted a provision that for 1 year disallows federal Medicaid payment to abortion providers. Look, it's one thing that certain states still allow for abortions. It's another thing that they demand that on the federal level, we, the people, pay for them. Two different things. Two different things. Although it's not named in the legislation, Planned Parenthood claims the law was designed to target it specifically, and I would suggest that without being named in the lawsuit, that you most certainly were. In the meantime, your calls, 615-737-9986. 7882 says, you folks are smoking something. No way a project like this is happening in 18 months. And I said to 7882, tell me again in 18 months. I'm in construction and engineering. It'll never happen. Okay. It may not happen in 18 months. 7882. But I never thought I would see a time in my life where we would have a reusable rocket shoot a rocket into space and then return to the launch pad that it originally lifted off from and get captured by a grabber at the launch pad. But we're watching that happen. I never thought that we would live in a time where you would have artificial intelligence at the level that it is. I never thought we would live in a time where they would present a boring machine, and the boring company has, that they say can cut through a mile of rock in a week. In a week? Well, they claim that at worst, they can go through a mile of rock in a month. So I guess we'll all see together. 7882, with all due respect to your construction and engineering experience, I believe that Elon Musk is hiring pretty good people. And I don't know that it would be any benefit to them to claim that they could get this done by the beginning of 2027 without the possibility of it getting done by the beginning of 2027. What would that benefit them? Now, maybe it'll take a little bit longer, maybe red tape. I do not believe that a lack of ability will prevent them from getting this done in 18 months. I think, if anything, government will present red tape that would prevent them from getting it done in that length of time. In the meantime, it's Mike's turn. Hello, Mike.
How you doing, Matt?
I'm great. Thank you.
I just want to thank you for turning me into a Democrat. I've listened to you and your show, and I like it. And but you kind of got off the rail like you say I do. But on this issue with the tunneling, you've gone off the rail. You're making this sound like this is going to be such a complete success so quick, a year and a half. Bill Lee is leaving office in a year and a half, and he signed off on it, and all this tunnel boring is going to happen in a year and a half. And it's all going to be successful. It's all going to go under the Cumberland River. It's all going to come up right into downtown Nashville, like nowhere. And we're going to build all these elevator systems, and then we're going to get the I-40 people off the road that go downtown to work. Where we're going to put the cars, we don't know. But then you're going to send your friend to Las Vegas, who's going to run around on a Elon Musk train because it's successful there, because it's only successful because it's a 24/7 gambling town in a desert community that has temperatures that run about 85 to 95 to 105 every day. It's a gambling community. That's why you need to move people around underground. And so what you're saying here is that this is so successful and it's not going to cost anybody anything. It's just incredibly naive, and you're all going to see the lawsuits, and I've become a Democrat just to stop this insanity.
Okay, so let me correct just a couple of things, and I'll let you continue, Mike, because I try not to interrupt you, but you say things that aren't true, and I've got to note them. I never said that this would cost nobody anything. What has been said to us is that the boring company is going to pay for the construction of the tunnel. It's going to cost money, obviously. The taxpayers will not have to foot the bill for the construction of the company. Secondarily, I would suggest that, and I've heard a mile a week. I don't think it's a mile a week. I think it's a mile a month, and I misspoke. I do think it's a mile a month, not a mile a week. But it is up to the boring company to meet those deadlines, not Matt Murphy and not Mike from Old Hickory. And whether or not they meet that deadline is up to them if we get out of the way. And it remains to be seen if that is the case. If it's feasible, it's feasible. If it's not, it's not. But they're putting up their own money because they believe that it is most certainly doable and it will make them a profit. That's the way free markets work, right? If you and I, Mike, went into a restaurant business, right? If we wanted to make muffins, all right, Matt and Mike's Muffins, we would open up a business with the intention of making a profit. Our intention would not be that it was going to lose money. We wouldn't open the business if we thought it would lose money. So obviously Elon Musk is doing this and the Boring Company is doing this with the expectation that it's going to make money. They've done the math on the amount of traffic going from B&A to downtown Nashville. That's up to them as a private business to do the math and to see if it's going to be profitable for them. And they've determined that it will be.
What I'm saying, Matt, is that I watch these local programs like planning commissions, like in Davidson County, Laverne, in Lebanon, and Mount Juliet, city councils, and they all come on TV if you watch those little public education channels, which I did when I busted my ankle, and I was left watching this stuff. They actually bring up stuff like you got to have permits to even put a curb down anywhere, including Davidson County. And that this project all of a sudden seems to have been approved.
Yeah, it's 30 because there's no permitting requirement, 30 feet. And the state already owns the property. The state has given the permissions that are necessary in order for them to proceed. Now, obviously, there's still hurdles to jump over, but look, no step too high for a high stepper, Mike. Well, it's as simple as that. No step too high for a high stepper. You either want it or you don't. This city either wants it or it doesn't. And Nashville can either get on board and see the wave of the future, or they can try to get in the way and be squashed. That's up to them. Stephen, Lee, we'll get to you in a moment. It's 21 after the hour on Super Talk. I've been threatening to call Michael at Alpha and Omega over the last several days. I'm going to make this happen. I got to get it done because it's a small computer thing, but these guys are such experts at every aspect of computers. I know that they can assist me in it. You get a real person on the phone when you make the call. And obviously, if you're a client of Alpha and Omega, if you have any issue, they don't think you will, but if you have any issue whatsoever, they're going to get someone on the phone right here in Middle Tennessee, not somebody out of state, not somebody out of country, certainly. Emergency services are available. They're rarely needed because they do their job in such a great fashion. They take complete ownership of your computer system. They are the architects of your IT, right? So they're going to take care of your computers. They're going to take care of your printers. They're going to take care of your internet. They're going to take care of your cybersecurity, every aspect of it. Whether they service you directly or not, if it's IT related, they will troubleshoot those issues with you, going so far as to call those service providers that they need to, third-party providers. They will not pass the responsibility on to you because they are your Alpha and Omega when it comes to computers. That's right there in the name. Alpha and Omega, go online at ANO.net. That's ANO.net or 615-784-0096. 784-0096 for Alpha and Omega. Thank you, Ken Weaver. 26 after. 1733 says, Matt, while I agree with you that you need to hear naysayers' opinions, however, there's a difference between naysayers and people that are insane like Mike. You can't reason with insanity. 0108 says, I don't agree with Mike at all, but that was very professional and not a bleep way to handle him. I'm impressed. That's more pleasing to listen to. Okay. I guess some days I'm better than others, I suppose.
Next time you'll be mean.
I'm trying not to be mean to Mike. I mean, apparently, was Mike blaming me for him being a Democrat?
Yes.
Huh. But he said that he watches public access of the Metro Council in Davidson County, but he's just recently become a Democrat? Huh. That's odd. No matter what they build in Nashville, says 9444, it will never make me a Democrat. Me either. I don't believe in statism. I don't believe in government control. Dave is next up. Dave, good afternoon. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. Man, I hate agreeing with you. It makes my wife laugh, but I hate agreeing with you. But what I don't understand is why people would be against this. So if I'm understanding it, there's no taxpayer funding. Is there like any tax incremental financing or any of that, or tax rebates involved in this? I haven't heard.
To my knowledge, no. There are no tax abatements. This company will pay their taxes just like any other company will pay their taxes in the state of Tennessee. They abide by the same laws. Their ask was to be given the rights to drill underneath state property, and they have been given those rights. Obviously, there's a level of state oversight that has to go on to make sure that they're doing everything safely and they're not endangering others. But to my knowledge, this is as advertised. This is a matter of the Boring Company want to prove the concept that they can come into communities, alleviate traffic congestion, and provide a beneficial alternative to riding on the roadways with these tunnels.
Right, which also goes to reducing congestion, all the green initiative stuff that people love and all that, which I think is bogus. But what I'm trying to understand is the opposition to this. Is it just anti-Musk or what? I don't understand because
so it's my understanding the opposition comes from leftists who don't want the free market to solve these issues on their own. They want the people of the metropolitan region to be dependent on government to solve these quote unquote issues because it increases their power and control. Secondarily, and maybe in this case more importantly, the Metro Nashville government got a seat at the table last year, and they declined that seat at the table. Specifically, Freddie O'Connell declined to have these conversations with Elon Musk's company because he was so insistent on getting this transit tax passed. Well, by the time that he got it passed and he had an opportunity to sit back down at the table, he didn't want to do anything with Elon Musk because Elon Musk was a part of the Doge program and was in cahoots with the Trump administration. So, I mean, it really is a politically driven opposition.
No, I mean, I'm a skeptic, right? But, 5 years ago, if you would have told me a private company was going to launch rockets into space, land them on ships, catch them, and reuse them, I would have said, there's no way that's going to happen. But clearly I was wrong. I don't know if this is that, but if it's all on them, it's no different if I go open up a gas station somewhere, and if I go out of business, guess what? It's on me.
Well, that's right.
Anyway.
No. I mean,
anyway.
Dave, I'm glad you agree with me, and I'm glad your wife gets a kick out of it. That's pretty good. Do you want to apologize for that there, Jackson?
Yeah, that was my fault. They didn't enunciate the P in ships.
The caller, Dave, said ships, and Jackson hit the dump button. Well, you know what? You got our back. That's good. At
least I'm quick on the trigger.
You're a team player and quick on the. I mean, I would never hit that button. I don't care what we say.
Oh, you don't say?
I mean, I got you. You notice how I deftly don't go to another call while we're trying to build back up that 10-second delay. It's 31 after the hour. It's time for news anyway on Super Talk. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic with 2 locations to serve you. One, the OG, the original in Midtown since 2014. The other started up in 2023 in Cool Springs. Both of those locations provide the same level of quality, professional, and discreet service for all of you gentlemen listening to me. Men, obviously there was a time in our history, in our humanity, when, you know what, your intimacy with your significant other was just over. That is the truth. I mean, for many men who might be listening to me, there would come a point where your T level gets to the point where that part of your life is just done. That is no longer the case, man. With the Tennessee Men's Clinic, they have multiple plans, a lot of different options for you to get back in the game and get back to that level of romantic intimacy that you want with your significant other, your partner, your spouse. Let's do this together. Let's go to Tennessee Men's Clinic. Let's find out how they can assist you. A simple telephone call and a scheduled appointment will get you back into the game, man. They'll get blood work and they'll get answers the same day that you walk into the clinic. That's what it's all about. 615-208-9090, 208-9090, or online at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Uh-huh. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Several of you holding on the phone lines. We'll get to you momentarily. By the way, big winner in today's Ninkham Poops stories. You want to take a guess there, Jackson?
I'm guessing you won.
Correct. You would be right. Now,
who came in second?
I did not tally second place. Both of you, I'm sad to note, as much as I love both of you, you failed miserably by comparison. I mean, second place. That's first loser, Jackson. First loser. Who cares? If you ain't first,
you're last.
You're last. Now, on that vein, Happy Gilmore, that's a fun flick. I mean, some love it better than me, but, I appreciated the movie. I think most of us of a particular era. You're a little young to have experienced it as a first run.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time.
But, okay, as one of your favorite movies of all time, you had a binge-watching session over the weekend where you watched both Happy Gilmore and the brand-new Netflix Happy Gilmore 2.
I did. Since they're both on Netflix right now, I decided to, Friday night after the show, I was going to sit down, watch both of them. And I really enjoyed Happy Gilmore 2. I thought the cameos were fun from all the different golfers. I felt like, the jokes were good. It was fun. I wasn't expecting peak cinema, but I had fun watching the movie.
If you enjoyed the first Happy Gilmore, I understand some people don't. They just don't get into that kind of humor.
Oh, it's so good. It's peak Sandler.
But if you enjoyed that type of humor, and if you walked to that road before, you suggest that you will appreciate this film?
Yes, I actually plan on watching it again, maybe tonight.
It's my understanding that the cameos are, pretty out
It's
there.
loaded. There's one about every scene.
I asked a question, because I saw a list of the number of golfers, and I understand that, some of them are
main cast.
Are integral to the part of the story. Mm-hmm. But then there are other, like Jack Nicklaus is in this, right?
Yes, he is a cameo in the Champions Room.
So did Tiger Woods just turn this down?
I'm assuming he had to, because every other big-name golfer of the last, I want to say 30 years, you got John Daly, you got Jack
Phil
Nicholson.
Was Phil in there?
Phil was not.
Okay, maybe they wanted too much money. I don't know. But
you got Rory McIlroy, Brooks Koepka, a lot of guys from both the PGA and the LIV Tour, and it was fun. Four of them are an integral part of the story on a team with old Happy Gilmore.
Okay.
And John Daly's great.
Does John Daly kind of take over the Chubbs role?
No, he lives in Happy's garage and gets drunk all day.
Well, that's on brand.
He is not the mentor in this movie.
That is on brand for Long John Daly. Okay, well, so how many Jacksons out of 5 Jacksons? What are we giving this?
I'd give it 4.
4 out of 5 Jacksons for Happy Gilmore 2. There you go.
Happy Gilmore 1's a 5 out of 5. Might be a 6 out of 5.
You can't have more Jacksons than Jacksons available.
One of my favorite movies. I had it on VHS. And I watch it at least once or twice a year. It's so good.
Man, the Bob Barker scene is good. It's hard to.
Ben Stiller's also good in that movie. He's good in this one, too.
I also saw Ben Stiller's back.
Yes.
Is he the same character, the crazy guy?
Same character, different job.
So I watched this Break 50 with Bryson DeChambeau on YouTube, and he had Adam Sandler trying to break 50 with him.
Mm-hmm.
And Adam Sandler said he talked about Herlihy, Frank Herlihy, I think his name is, his writing partner that wrote Happy Gilmore with him. And he said, we've written so many things together, and we always know who writes what joke. But he said I eat pieces of bleep like you for breakfast, and the response, yes. You eat pieces of bleep for breakfast?
Yes.
He said, we argue to this day about who wrote that joke. He said, because it's one of the
joke.
It's such a great line. He was like, neither of us can agree on who actually wrote that singular joke. But
I actually enjoyed Shooter McGavin in this movie as well.
Who doesn't like old Shooter?
Have you seen it yet?
I've not.
You need to watch it. But yeah, Shooter's great in the movie. I'm not going to spoil anything, but he starts out in the psych ward, so.
Okay.
Hijinks ensue.
Okay, so is there a shift in tone towards Shooter in this movie?
What do you mean?
Shooter was the bad guy.
He is not the bad guy in this movie.
In this one, he's not the bad guy, but he's still in it.
He is a very prominent figure in the movie.
Okay. Looking forward to it. I'm going to re-up my Netflix, not for this film. I'm actually I canceled Netflix because these jerks couldn't figure out my password situation, but I gotta re-up it because my buddy Dusty Slay has a new comedy Netflix special out. That's
I need to watch that.
Actually out tonight called Wet Heat. And I think Dusty's going to come on with us on Friday, and then he'll be in studio a little bit later on in the month, or next month. But Matt, we watched Happy Gilmore 2 this weekend. It was hilarious. They make fun of Live Golf. 5 out of 5, 100%.
It was great.
Okay.
I've seen some sequels. Like one of my other favorite childhood movies is Space Jam, and Space Jam 2 was horrific.
No good. And I did not watch either. I'm such
You've
a
never
snob.
seen the original Space Jam?
No.
The OG Space Jam is really good.
And Bugs Bunny, Michael Jordan, that thing?
Yes.
No.
I watched it pretty recently.
No. No, thank you, no.
It's so good.
I will pass.
Not a Looney Tunes guy? That surprises me.
I like Bugs Bunny. I mean, I like Elmer Fudd.
They're all in it. They're playing basketball with Michael Jordan.
I'm excited about the Acme movie. Have you seen this?
Acme versus...
I think it's Wile E. Coyote versus Acme or something like that.
Yeah, I actually am excited to see that movie.
So if you don't know, the premise is Wile E. Coyote gets convinced. It's like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit deal where it's mostly live action, but it's animation too. And Wile E. Coyote gets convinced to sue the Acme Corporation for all of the faulty products that are sent his way in his attempt to get the Roadrunner. But it was shelved for years.
Mm-hmm.
They put it on the back burner.
It's been done and filmed and edited and all of that for a while.
I mean, I don't know what to expect because of that. I mean, if it was that good, wouldn't they have put it out? I don't know. Well,
it'll be a fun time.
We'll see. It'll be fun. John Daly has a bar that just opened by Vanderbilt. Really? Well, let's go. What are we waiting on? Let's shut the show down early and let's get out of here.
All right.
I spent all day in a pit and have not had a chance to listen to you guys. Did Jerome Powell have their meeting, and was there any news today on that? Yes and no. More on that to come. Stephen is in, well, it says Stephen's in traffic. Hello, Stephen.
Hey, man. I love your show, buddy.
Well, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate that.
Yeah, listen to you every day. I'll make this quick. I was over-the-road truck driver for about 27 years, and now I drive locally, delivery driver in Nashville. And one thing that I noticed is the bottlenecks in this town. And what I've seen in other cities around the nation, I'll take Indianapolis as an example. Just like Nashville, Indy has 3 interstates running through it, 74, 65, and 70. All trucks have to go around downtown on that loop. Nashville sort of has a loop. We have 840. We got 440. We can keep, I see so many trucks coming straight into town down the Sylvan Evans Bridge, going north to get on 64 and 25. 65. They can take Briley Parkway, go around the top, hit 24 or 65 that way. They can take 840. If your buddy Freddie and the state would get together and get these trucks to go around Nashville instead of straight through it. I mean, if you've ever been at Fessler's Lane at 5 o'clock, you know these trucks are trying to get up north. They could hit Briley Parkway and go up there. And I think it would solve a whole lot of traffic trouble.
I mean, I think a lot of them do, but I don't disagree with you. The struggle is if you are going 40 and you're trying to get to 65 north. And then obviously Briley Parkway is the answer to that. But if you're coming from the west on 40, Briley Parkway is not the same on the west side of the city as it is on the east side of the city in terms of.
No, it's not.
But I hear you. I hear you. I mean, especially those trucks that are just going 40. or if they're coming from 40 and they want to go 65 southbound or 24 south, or obviously they ought to have, or I guess it's technically 24 east.
Coming north on 65 would be a trick. I don't know how you get through town that way.
Right. But there are ways that we could limit the 18-wheeler traffic, Stephen, and I don't disagree with you there. Thank you for the telephone call. The answer to our caller or our super texter about Jerome Powell, there was no meeting that I understand. There was no meeting today, and Jerome Powell is not expected to cut interest rates this week. I'm assuming that's what you're asking about. And if that's the case, then there is your answer. Cecil is next on a tunnel situation. Hey, Cecil.
Hey, how you doing there? I appreciate your patience there dealing with Mr. Mike. I was listening, and then when he said that he was a Republican, changed it to a Democrat, I knew he was a fool then. So that kind of explained where he was going as far as this not liking what was taking place as far as with the transit system. We're living in a world right now where I don't care how successful if a plan comes up dealing with the free market, the Democrats will not work with the Republicans. They don't want to give the Republicans credit for anything, even if it cures or helps something. They are just simply hell-bent on hating the Republican Party and stopping innovation and doing anything that's moving forward to help the betterment of people. And so I think what the state needs to do in this situation, the hell with dealing with the mayor down there, because these are the same idiots that allowed us to lose millions of dollars when we lost RNC when they went to Wisconsin, all because of political, their affiliations and stuff, not liking the Republican Party. So what we need to do is go ahead and use that atomic pen and get over the filibuster like they have up there in Congress, like the president has, but bypass these Democrats, use the state land that we have, and get with a private partner that has enough land down there that's willing to purchase and work with us, and we can go ahead and get this project moving. Elon Musk has the IQ of anybody, higher than anybody on this phone right here. This man made a rocket go up in the sky and came back down. I'm pretty sure he can bore a tunnel 30 feet under the ground, under the river, to make congestion better here in Tennessee. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Cecil, I love it. I absolutely love the call, and you make it a habit to call us back anytime you want to, brother. I appreciate that very much. And I agree with you completely. It's obviously a political maneuver, and the state's going to make this thing happen. Whether the city wants to be a part of it or not, I mean, they can either just sit idly by and watch it happen and then jump on in front of the parade or not. In the meantime, Sally writes in and says, Jackson is the nincompoop. Happy Gilmore 2 sucked. Happy Gilmore was a great movie. Then Sally says, Space Jam, that explains a lot.
Can't enjoy Space Jam?
I don't know. I've never seen Space Jam, but Sally feels like your appreciation of Space Jam explains everything that she needs to know about your critique of movies.
The first one was excellent.
The first Space Jam.
Yes.
But the second Space Jam.
An abomination.
Both Happy Gilmore's thumbs up from Jackson.
Yes.
Well, there you go. 615-737-9986. I don't even know why I give out those telephone numbers because we're very short on time. We'll complete the show by throwing out some things that we haven't gotten to yet. That's on the way next on Super Talk. They've got back-to-school specials rolling at Volunteer Outfitters. Have you been by to see some of the great gear they've got for you for this fall? Come on, guys. You need to get out to Volunteer Outfitters. They're on New Shackle Island Road. Closed tonight, but open early tomorrow at 10 a.m. They would love to see you. You go on Vietnam Veterans Parkway. You get off on New Shackle Island Road. You take a left, and you'll see them right down on the left. Tell them I sent you to Volunteer Outfitters. They got all the brand names that you love. They've got Drake. They've got Bandit. They've got Huck. They've got all the, they've got shoe gear. They've got shorts and pants. They've got gear for the boat. They've got gear for the fall. They have team-branded apparel. Oh, yeah. I mean, you know that they got volunteer gear out there. They're called Volunteer Outfitters, but they've got all sorts of other teams as well. And they would love to see you for all of your back-to-school needs at Volunteer Outfitters. If it's for the outdoorsman, they have it. And, oh, by the way, with back-to-school time comes hunting season. It's right around the corner. Let's go ahead and get suited up. Thanks to Volunteer Outfitters. Go by Volunteer Outfitters and tell them when you do that Matt Murphy sent you to the one and only. You don't have to pay those big city prices. Get up to Hendersonville at Volunteer Outfitters. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Before we go, these things. I mean, it's kind of a depressing story to end on, but it is a fact. Ghislaine Maxwell's attorney is demanding immunity and other protections, before she'll testify before Congress. Otherwise, he says she'll plead the Fifth. Attorney David Oscar Marcus laid out conditions for Maxwell's appearance under subpoena, including immunity from prosecution. Without such guarantee, he wrote, Maxwell will have no choice but to invoke her Fifth Amendment rights. The Oversight Committee will respond to Maxwell's attorney soon, but will not consider granting congressional immunity for her testimony, said a spokesperson. Well, here's the way I see all of this playing out. She's going to want a lot of things. Her attorney's going to want a lot of things, to include the possibility of limiting her time in prison. They will get none of those things because it would be a public relations disaster in order to do that. I don't care if Ghislaine Maxwell can deliver. I mean, there would come a ridiculous point where I would suggest that, I mean, there's certain things she could probably deliver that would be worth it, but the public relations disaster will preclude any of that from happening. In the meantime, Washington and Lee University professor, who could have easily been a nincompoop in the news for me today, Shannon Fife, published an article in the Tennessee Journal of Race, Gender, and Social Justice in which she said the Republican majority in the Tennessee General Assembly are participating in transgender genocide. Huh? How about that? Transgender genocide? The academic noted that more than 250 laws targeting transgender treatments have been passed by various state governments, including the state of Tennessee. I don't think we are trying to kill any transgender people. We just don't want to mutilate babies, lady. That's all. That's going to wind it up for us. I've had fun. I hope you have as well. For Jackson Williams, for Ken Weaver, we'll be back tomorrow at about 3 o'clock or thereabouts. Until next time, have a great evening, folks. Hug your loved ones. So long, everybody.
From ABC News.